Hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Homer, and this is Genshin Impact. And we're here in Krai Act 4 still, and we're here in this, like, very warped version of Sumeru. I say warped version. Did that fire just light by itself? That's pretty cool. We could say it's draw distance, but because we're in, like, a kind of a weird dream world, I'm totally willing to, like, believe it just lit by itself. Maybe we turn around and light again. No? Okay. Maybe it lit by itself. This is very, very cool. I think the moment of coming to Sumeru, like, wait, are we here? I'm not like, I love Sumeru, but I'm not as good with like locations in terms of like where exactly I am sometimes. This is the village.
This place looks familiar.
Wait.
That's not a good sign. There's someone up ahead.
Is it? Maybe it's not.
Time for a little chat.
I said I wasn't good with locations, by the way. I thought this was like, cause you know, that has the archway that you go around here. Usually there's the kind of like statue here, but maybe it's like an older version of it. Again, we can't check the map right now, but this is definitely Sumeru for sure. Someone is wants us to see something. Who's this?
I wasn't expecting visitors at this hour. Wait, is that?
Retinue.
Oh, it's him.
Him?
There you are. Sinuhe's been looking for you all day. I think he has some news for you.
Who's him?
Oh yeah? What were you doing just now, Uncle
Wait, what?
Retinue? Hiding away some more
Oh.
loose change? I know I saw some Mora.
So it's like this is Nefer's past? So as she was exploring the past of Rerir, she ended up in her own past?
What do you mean loose change? Oh, come on, I'm too old for this. Just pretend you saw nothing.
This is really interesting. Quite nerve-wracking as well. That like honestly though, like it makes me my like skin crawl a little bit. No, not because like it's not interesting to see, but like, you know, we went from like Rerir's mind to Nefer's mind so quickly, and it's very clear that it wasn't like obviously Nefer's. Well, she said herself, like this wasn't Nefer's choice, you know. We were absolutely terrified of what happened here. This is so interesting, and it's weird to be in Sumeru just all of a sudden as well, you know.
Hey, kid. Mind telling me what Sinuhe's been up to recently? I'm trying to get in his good books and I need a way in.
So the kid mentioned Sinuhe.
Get in his good books? Why? What do you want with my dad, Uncle Peppy?
So it's it's Nefer's dad is Sinuhe.
I've written a new song. I was hoping to showcase it at the next festival, but I'll need his approval.
Okay.
A new song, huh? I'd love to stay and listen, but unfortunately, Uncle Retinue says my dad's looking for me.
Well, there's plenty of time and I'm not going anywhere. See that pile of stones? I'll be sitting there warming up my vocal cords. Come find me when you're done.
Okay.
Pile of stones. Got it.
Nefer always had like, even as a kid, had this kind of like, you know, matter-of-fact attitude. You know what I mean? And that's not a bad thing either, you know what I mean? I think it's just like a meter, maybe she just like developed it over the years as well, but like I feel like she's like very like, you could tell she was going to become Nefer when she was younger, the way she's talking, you know? You know, there's nothing wrong with having, we say all the time, the characters with a bit of a biting attitude, perfect, 100%. Especially when they're not like, you know, terribly rude, you know what I mean? And it's a kid, you know what I mean? So, like, it's just one of those things where, like, I think you just see the seeds of, like, where Nefer, you know, started, for sure, in terms of, like, at least, I know we only got a bit of dialogue, but it seems like, you know, with the tone and stuff like that, too. And we do love Nefer. Is this her dad?
Hi, Dad. Uncle Retinue said you were looking for me.
So it is her dad. Okay, this is Sinuhe.
Ah, there's my little princess. If you'd gotten back just a little sooner, you could have shared the spoils of war with me.
The POV is crazy as well because I think it's almost like painfully intentional to have the POV like this where we're like going first person. Because we were third person when it came to like, not third person even. I think it's second person, is it, when you're looking at someone else? Technically, I know, but like we were technically looking at like Rerir's, you know, world from the outside. But now like the visions we're getting now as players is like directly to the eyes of Nefer. You know, it's a very different feeling.
Spoils of war? Who were you fighting against, Dad?
It was just a figure of speech. The aftermath of a sandstorm is no time to be waging war.
Oh, because it's a sandstorm, okay.
I was talking about our war against thirst. I went out to fix our water supply problem, and now I'm back. Which means...
Which means?
We have a well again.
That's pretty good. That's incredibly good news.
That's right. I found a new one and brought back as much water as I could carry. It should last us for a good while.
So there was struggles with getting water, but that's like incredibly good news. That's incredibly good news.
If it wasn't for these blasted sandstorms, our wells wouldn't be caving in. You wouldn't be spending all your time out searching for new water sources.
It's always like sad because again, like it's one of those things where like, you know, that's like what they know and stuff, I guess, as well. But it's always sad that like, you know, people have to go through stuff, I guess, you know, because again, water should just be like, you know, something everyone should have like be able to to access. You know what I mean?
As the chief of our tribe, I'm supposed to be leading us out of hardship and poverty, onto better things. You know how prosperous our ancestors were. I've told you all the stories. And look at us now, squeezed into these hovels. No one would choose this if it wasn't for the endless wars over the years.
And that's the point, isn't it? It's like, yes, like there's a massive like, and this goes for a lot of like cultures that like have like, you know, that have been pushed into like different spaces that they have to live in a certain space. You know what I mean? That there's nothing they can do. It's like, yes, they're like still have like this beautiful culture and they have all this stuff that is very like, you know, germane to them and like a very like, you know, personal to them. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of people wouldn't like, you know, choose the other aspects, which is like, you know, a lack of water, you know, constant harsh weather, the sandstorms. It's like, yes, they have like such a beautiful culture here in the desert, and like I adore the people in the desert, even in modern times as well. They're so amazing. But like it's one of those things where like for years it was very difficult, incredibly difficult, before there was like even an infrastructure here at all. And it still is like, there still is like a lot of difficulties there too. Like we saw what happened with like Tanari here in the desert. Like he nearly freaking died here, how harsh it is.
But things are looking up. I started working with some folks from the Akademiya a few months back. They gave me some contacts in return for my assistance in the desert.
And this is way back then as well. The Akademiya ain't helping anybody.
So you're the Akademiya's helper now?
Special ambassador, they call it. Think of it as a partnership.
I feel like there's gonna be like 10 more ambassadors before. Not 10. That's Nefer's not that old, but like not that it'd be bad as she was, but like I think there's gonna be like a bunch of more ambassadors before anything is actually made of it. Like we literally witnessed the real change between the Akademiya and the desert. We witnessed it firsthand. It's gonna take a while.
It's nothing bad, okay? We've been isolated here in the desert for too long. Seeking opportunities elsewhere is the best thing for us, and the fastest way to progress.
Yeah, and if the Akademiya 100% was looking to help, like this would be so true. You know?
So, do you get anything good out of being a special
Do you
ambassador?
get paid?
Of course. My luck's improving all the time. One day, I swear I'm gonna lead us out of this place. We'll find somewhere new. Somewhere better.
Somewhere new, somewhere better. Yeah, like, so what I got from that as well, like, there was, like, you know, a sandstorm, there's a lack of water here. The Akademiya, like, is where he's trying to get some help from. And he really feels like, you know, they can't look inwards anymore for, like, you know, a way to progress. And that, like, does make sense. I get what he's saying 100%. Like, so I hope it doesn't sound like I'm saying, like, you're silly, old man. What are you doing? You know, the Akademiya ain't going to help you. But, like, it's hard not to feel hopeful. Like, oh, my God, like, you know, we're finally making headway with the Akademiya. It's just that we know for firsthand the Akademiya is someone, like, I don't trust. Like, I trust them more now because there's, like, better people in charge. Or at least there's, like, you know, people...
I saw this coming.
At least there's like people. At least there's people now in the Akademiya we can trust. But like obviously for a while, like even when we were there, the Akademiya were like doing some horrible stuff. Now it could be different. Like maybe there was people in the Akademiya that tried their hardest. Now, you know, there could have been people there. Maybe they were stopped afterwards. But I'm not gonna make fun of someone at all or be like, oh, why are you so hopeful about, man? Because like, you know, I know the Akademiya. You know what I mean? It's like that's so silly. Like especially when they're struggling in a lot of ways too. You know, that's like so awful. And there's nothing you can do now. You know, it's such in the past. Like like you know, it's not like I'm gonna be like, man, how silly they were. It's like no, they were like just trying to survive the best they could. I'm never looking down on anyone for trying to survive. You know what I mean? Never. It's harsh conditions here. That was a massive part of the Dance of Death, Serpent and the Scorpion. That was a massive part of the story, even with Sumeru in modern times, where it's like the harsh environment and the lack of support from outside and the separation from the outside as well.
That's our well, and you know it. You stole from us.
Huh?
Well, you've gone from chief to thief, and now you have to face the
Wait,
consequences.
who is this saying that, like, they're well?
Did you really think you could take our water without permission
Oh,
and
no.
get away with it? You're either brave, stupid, or both.
This isn't good. This is not good.
And that special ambassador act? Yeah, nice try. We spoke to the Akademiya. They said it was all news to them.
Wait, so is it possible that he was just saying that to, like, put people's mind at ease? Or is the Akademiya just, like, being bastards? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You're a liar and a cheat.
Jesus Christ, lads. Calm. What the hell? Did he just look... Oh my god, there's kids there as well. This game just won't stop throwing like stuff like this at us at all. Look what they did here over a freaking well, over water that they probably had much more than they needed. With the sandstorm raging around them as well. Like, look at that. Look at this image.
I heard Yehuda gasp, but I don't blame her. Most people are terrified by the sight
So
of blood.
Yehuda, obviously they're seeing this too. Yehuda's like, she was like, what the hell? As you would be like. This image is so terrifying. Not terrifying, it's so harrowing.
Corpses strewn across the ground. The wounds are clearly from
Oh my
scimitars and
God.
daggers. The desert dwellers' weapons of choice.
What's
There's
this?
a handwritten note on the ground.
Is this from the
Let's see
Akademiya?
what it says.
Halil, this is Sinuhe, chief of the Shimti tribe. Surely you remember me.
No.
I was the one who helped you and your colleagues avoid the quicksand in the desert.
Is he saying like, oh, I helped you guys, you helped me?
This is my second time writing to you. I assume my last letter must have
Oh,
gotten lost in the
no.
mail, as I didn't receive a reply. I hope this one makes it to you safely.
No, if this is the Akademiya, they're just ignoring it.
I'm writing to you because I need some help. That sandstorm the other day completely blocked up our well, forcing me to look for another water source in Iab and Unut territory. It was a matter of survival.
Right. I have a feeling that this is going to be hard to get through. I mean, like, this whole mission has been hard to get through. This whole, like, act has been hard to get through. But, like, I have a feeling this just you can feel the, like, already, like, not even feel it. We saw what just happened there. But now, like, even from this, I can feel more heartache coming just from this letter itself.
Praise the gods. The well of the Iab tribe was intact. It was my last resort. I drew what water I could and left, but not without being spotted.
Oh, my God.
I fear they will retaliate.
Again, imagine what drove him to do this, because he knew that there would be kind of like some repercussions here, but now he's obviously, I bet, looking for like protection or safety.
You told me to write to you if I ever needed help. You said you'd be my ally in the Akademiya.
This is so painful, oh my God.
I urgently need you to formally recognize my title of Special Ambassador and send some of your people to assist me for a few days. It's the only way I can convince them that this was the Akademiya's decision and prevent them from
No.
retaliating.
I know, like, I'm biased, but the first mistake was like trusting someone from the Akademiya. That was the biggest mistake, first of all.
This is an emergency. Please send help as soon as possible.
And I know some people in the Akademiya are good. We know we've met good people in the Akademiya many times over. Layla, Farazan, Al-Haytham when he was working there. Sino technically works there as well. Of course there's good people there. There's good people, there's just random people there. But as a structure for the longest time, even when we got there, it was like rotten to the core. It really was. Not to the core. Well, to the core, but like there was parts of it that were still good, of course.
Looks like this letter never got sent.
So he never sent the letter itself. So he's on his way to send the letter? So, okay. Eat my words if it's one of the situations that he didn't get the letter, but he didn't respond to the last letter, so again, I'm not gonna quell my Akademiya hate yet.
The writer died a grisly death.
Oh, he's just
and
dead
the
there,
letter was
sitting there?
trampled into the ground. It's badly defaced. Some parts are barely legible.
That's your dad.
What a ridiculous lie the surviving Shimti tell. Their whole village was butchered over a sip of water.
Yes, that's what's so crazy about this. this was over a group of sorry, I'm so flustered. Villagers just trying to get some water. This is what this was over. The slaughter of these people was over a sip of water, over just trying to survive. This is so difficult, man. So horrible to even think about.
Ah, officer. Welcome. Welcome to our humble village.
Is this the member of the Akademiya?
I thought you would at least have the courtesy to provide some respectable libations.
Oh, shut up. Respectable libations. This is, I'm sorry, I will not ever get over my, it's not going to happen, guys, and I apologize, it won't happen. I'll never get over my, like disdain for, like, the Akademiya as an institution. It just won't happen.
This is the finest wine our village has to offer. I promise.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Oh my God, I'm so frustrated, man. Over water. And I know that wasn't the Akademiya part, but I'm saying, like, everything's frustrating me so much. It really is. It's such a frustrating act. And not in a bad writing way, by the way. I think it's meant to make us feel terrible. You know, we're not supposed to come out of the act going like, wow, what a great time. Like, it's bad feeling after bad feeling. Oh, shut up. Drink it and like it.
The Akademiya has agreed to reserve a single space for a candidate from your village. But I remain skeptical of this entire endeavor. I highly doubt anyone in this desert possesses serious academic
Oh, my blood
potential.
is boiling. Oh, no. In what way do you decide this? Through your methods? Just your decision. You decide who's academic or not. You decide who's a benefit or not. Because of your instant institution.
Please, have faith. If not in us, then in our God. The child we found shows great promise.
Is this Nefer?
I beg you, take her away from this place. Give her a chance. Don't let her talent go to waste.
That's so horrible as well, because that's, again, I think that's also like a common story you've seen throughout the years as well. The idea of like, hey, take her away at least. Let her, live a different life.
I don't recognize her. New arrival?
She showed up here a few days ago and we took her in.
Oh, because her other
She's
village.
a really bright kid. Please help. I'm begging you.
So it's definitely what happened to her dad and all those people when they tried to get some water for themselves.
So, where are you from?
Nowhere special. Just a sand dune.
100%. Like, again, it was just a place on a ridge, over a bridge.
What about the rest of your family? How many of you are there?
Just the one.
They're all gone.
It's only you?
Correct.
The way even now, this is what I'm talking about. You can see the seeds for Nefer here as well, where she like where she kind of like got her personality as well. How she might be like come off as a little bit cold as well, but I think she still has like this. I don't know. She's I'm never gonna call Nefer completely cold, like completely, because I think she's a character who like does care a lot about people around her. But even now, she's like answering like very matter of factly,
So, no brothers, no sisters, no mother or father?
That's what she said.
Any who have slept on a bed of sand, I call my brothers and my sisters.
Wow.
Apart from that, I have no family.
All right. Get over here. Sign your name on the form.
Say, please, can you sign your name on the form?
Never. You're rather fair-skinned for a desert dweller.
How about you don't even talk about that? How about you never mention that? Hey, your skin's different. Shut your mouth, man. I'm sorry, guys. Like this whole thing is just it's just like I'm already like in a state of like where like all of this is just like so. And I hate anyone looking down at anyone ever. I do not like it. You guys know I don't like it. So I'm not gonna apologize for that. Actually, we're back here, by the way, which is so crazy. Like the last time we were here is probably for Sinuhe's mission, right? For Sinuhe's mission, like that was the last time we were officially here. But yeah, that was a really hard start to this episode to go through. People trying to survive, people suffering, the slaughter of children and villagers again. The Akademiya acting high and mighty, and again, that's what the thing is, like, the progress we made with Akademiya was so important. It was so important in the game, and it showcases here why the progress of the Akademiya was so important as well, right? Like, they genuinely felt, and some of them probably still do, they genuinely felt like they were better than everyone in this entire, in Sumeru, to the point that they could get to decide fully how, like, people in Sumeru can live, even how they, like, think and dream, what gods they believe in. They truly thought that they could decide this, right? And that's why, like, when I'm, like, you know, playing this, like, it's hard to watch again, because, again, we made so much progress with the desert and Sumeru, and it's not perfect, by the way, it's still not perfect, but it's on the path to getting something better. It's like, it makes you feel bad looking back at all this stuff as well. Honestly.
Nefer, this term's assignments have been issued already. Please read through the materials thoroughly, conduct your own additional research, and then write an essay on the topic.
Yes, Professor, I'm aware. I just had a couple more questions I wanted to get your perspective on.
That's good, asking questions.
Oh? Please, ask away.
Well, I saw the other students' problem sheets, and I couldn't help but notice that my assignment is much easier than theirs.
Oh.
Do you really think I'm a weak student?
A weak student? Goodness, no. Quite the opposite. You have a sharp mind. Almost too sharp.
So, there is a, you know, like, some people do need, like, you know, obviously, like, work that's a little bit less strenuous and stuff like that. This is just, you know, it's a normal part of life. But I think if you're someone who knows that you're capable of a bit more, it can be also frustrating. You know, it's frustrating both ways. It can be frustrating for someone who's not capable of doing, like, stuff that's, like, unbelievably strenuous and stuff like that as well, that, like, it can be very frustrating if you're doing that. The opposite can be true as well. So I wonder why he's done this then.
I think what you're saying is a weak student wouldn't have noticed the discrepancy. And if they did, they certainly wouldn't complain about the lighter workload.
You see, sharp as they come. You see things the way they are, and I'm sure you know why they're like that.
Because of where I come from.
Oh my god.
Because I'm different.
Wait, is that why she has a different assignment?
I'm sorry, Nefer. I don't like it any more than you do.
I hope not.
Anyway, you said you had a couple of questions?
So, wait.
What's the other one?
She's literally... They give her a weaker assignment because she's from the desert? Again, like, that's the thing. It's like, you know, I'm not surprised. Like, literally one of the biggest aspects of the game was, like, the prejudice against the people who lived in the desert. This has been a massive part of Sumeru. It's a part of Sumeru history forever. You know what I mean? It forever will be. So it's not surprising that they did this. And again, it's not that I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's more like it's absolutely disgusting. But it's like, it tracks with how Sumeru history has gone.
I wanted to check. If someone sent me a letter to the Akademiya, where do I go to collect it?
Oh, she's expecting a letter?
Ah, your family wrote to you. As long as they put your name on the envelope, someone should hand it right to you.
Okay, so maybe no one wrote the letter?
Not exactly. It's not even a recent letter. I was just curious where the mail would end up if no one collects it.
The House of Dana, I expect. I know there's a box for unclaimed mail somewhere in there, probably sitting on a shelf.
Okay.
Whatever you're looking for, that'd be the place to start.
This guy seems like he does appreciate Nefer quite a bit, right? 100%.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Professor.
Oh, don't mention it. Honestly, I feel like I failed you. I'm supposed to be your teacher, but I haven't taught you anything.
Yeah, and like I can't speak for Nefer in this situation, but like it is nice to have someone who like acknowledges the downfalls of the Akademiya and how they're treating people of the desert and stuff like that too, and how they treat Nefer. I think it's good to have that at the very least. But again, I can't speak for Nefer and how she would feel or how someone in the desert would feel about that.
Hey, don't
you know what I mean?
say that. You're a great teacher, and you do your best for all your students. But the rules are the rules.
Wait, what?
You're not allowed to teach.
He's not even allowed
to
teach her directly? What? Again, it's a moment of shock, but then I think like, yeah, Sumeru history, it's awful.
It's not just the Akademiya either. The whole world bends over backwards for the successful and leaves the losers to suffer and die.
You know what's so crazy? I know she charges for it, but like, I think there is a direct correlation to her making information a commodity, since she had to like go through the situation where people wouldn't even give her any information or couldn't give her any information or couldn't teach her. She literally grew up to be like a information broker who gives as long as you have money, doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter what organization you're a part of. Well, it doesn't matter something. She's not that bad. If she finds out that someone's trying to get the information for like, you know, someone she like, you know, we've seen it before, like she's banned people before from getting information. But you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't discriminate against people based on anything to do with like where they came from. It's usually like, you know, based on personality, I guess sometimes. But I know what she charges for. I do think there has to be a correlation with that too.
Oh, my dear child. Don't tell me you've given up on life.
He seems
already.
absolutely heartbroken that he can't even help her in any way.
I haven't. I just think that if you want to make it in this world, you have to find a way to become successful.
Nefer did. And Nefer did. You know what's so interesting about this? I feel like this is an implementation of like what would happen in a story quest for Nefer within a within the main quest. Right? That's what I look at anyway. Because this is 100% like a scene or a cutscene that I feel like is over here. A cutscene that you would have in like a story quest. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like it tracks 100% that the people from the desert would be treated differently. You know what I mean? And even like it was like, you know, the idea of like bringing up like her skin color and you know and the idea of like how like she's got easier work, how she's not even allowed to be taught. And I'm not trying to, you know, again, I can't ever like understand how that feels ever. You know what I mean? Ever. You know what I mean? But I can look at it here now and say like, you know, it just makes my blood boil because I know Nefer. Right? And if we're judging people by what we should judge people by, it's actually their academic prowess. No, we don't judge people by academic prowess. But I mean, like, in terms of, like, in an academia, you do judge people by, like, how well they do on tests. You know, that's what they do. You have to hand in assignments. That's, you know, it's I wouldn't say judgment. It's more like assessments. But, like, you know, what Nefer should be assessed on in here should be the same as everyone else. Showcasing that we know Nefer is one of the most intelligent people we've ever met. We know she's one of the smartest people. We know that she's like, you know, someone who like generally does like want to help people. And that's why I'm saying I think there is a correlation between her like making information like accessible to like anyone with a bit of cash versus when she was told she wasn't even allowed, you know, learn from her professors and she was getting all these like weaker assignments. Like genuinely, like I think there has to be a correlation there. This is where all the letters are.
This must be it. A big cardboard box full of unclaimed mail. And probably some letters that ended up here by mistake, too. Let's take a look.
Hopefully you find out what you're looking for. Wait. Take the letters and look inside the box? Okay. Genshin flies by for me, man, because I've been recording for like maybe like 28 minutes now, and it doesn't feel like that whatsoever. Maybe 25 minutes. It doesn't feel like it. Feels like 2 minutes. Interesting. Oh my god. Wait, what? Like the same type of animation, but this time like Nefer's looking at the letters. Like they're using this animation. I know it's like not like a parallel or anything like that because of course like, you know, what Rerir was doing was like crazy, but like it's crazy that we're going through like kind of like a similar angle like this.
A dilapidation survey from Port Ormos. Looks like it's from a Core of 30 representative. What a strange thought. A bunch of mercs losing sleep over rundown buildings. This one was never even opened. I guess the recipient didn't care what the Core of 30 had to say.
There's a lot of like
anything.
like we're seeing here a lack of care from the Akademiya.
Who was it addressed to? I don't recognize the name, but it must have been a Kasharawar professor.
You know what she's looking for? She's looking for the letter that was sent before. Was it even opened? You know what I mean? Did they even open the letter from her dad? That's what she's looking for, I think. Great animation.
This one is addressed to the Immorta Sage. The title is Changes Observed in Satyavada Life Symptoms. Why do all these letters read like full-blown dissertations? Guided by the incense, we became lost somewhere in the forest.
Well, like we did, remember that?
All the barriers between levels of consciousness disappeared as our minds soared around in circles, looking for a branch to seek refuge on. In clinical terms, these symptoms fit the description of incense poisoning.
Incense
the
poisoning?
Immorta Darshan strictly prohibits the use of hallucinogenic substances, but I believe there are still people getting away with it.
So they're not allowed to do this stuff. They're not allowed to do this incense poisoning stuff because they see it as hallucinogenic. Which I guess then we broke the law. If the law was still in place, we broke the law like several times. You know what I mean? 100%.
For example, my neighbor who always breaks out into song and dance after using
There's worse people after like having a good time. You know what I mean? Like honestly, like that's not too bad.
This seems like something the Akademiya would want to know about. Why wasn't it collected?
It seems like they don't care about a lot of stuff.
Wait, what's this written on the back? It's so small. The note says, the sender authored this letter while under the influence of mushrooms. I would send it back, but no return address was provided. Stamped by the Grand Conservator of the House of Dana.
So these letters are already open, so they're like postcards, I guess, just with stamps on them. So I wonder then, like, we're not going to find if it's unopened. We're going to find if there's any note on our letter, I guess.
This next one is addressed to Grand Sage Azar.
Is Azar the Grand Sage that was the sage that we met? Because remember the Grand Sage that told us that we were the unknown variable, right? There was he said the unknown variable, but I don't know if it's him.
A few words of protest regarding recent changes in Sumeru's educational policy. In recent years, the Akademiya has taken on a small number of students from the desert region, as per the policy to this effect. However, it appears to me that these students have not, in fact, been provided with educational opportunities that are, in any meaningful sense, equal to those enjoyed by their
110%.
As well as receiving dumbed-down assignments and perfunctory tutoring. They do not even have full access to the Akasha system.
That's like, you know what? And again, I not to downplay it. It's like bringing people to a college or a university in modern times, and not giving them access to like the computers in the library. You know what I mean? Like just because they're from a different place, just because their skin color is different. It's genuinely like blood boiling. It is, because like this is like, you know, one of those things where like, you know, in a school of academics of any kind, you get assessed, as we said, and you should be assessed on the work you do, not on what they think the work that you were capable of. There's a totally different situation here. It's absolutely, it just makes my blood boil. It really does. It's horrible.
Education is the fundamental purpose of this institution, which should go without saying in a nation whose founding virtues are knowledge and wisdom.
Yes.
I ask you, is the lip service we pay to the policy of education for desert students truly the standard of pedagogy to which the Akademiya aspires?
So what's interesting about this as well, it seems like they're doing it as like, because like they had this idea, they were in a meeting, they're like, we should like, you know, we should integrate people from the desert back into the Akademiya and all this stuff. But like the way they're doing it, it almost seems like it's like a brownie point thing where they want to like basically look like they're doing something, but they're actually not doing anything. It's like a way of like putting a band-aid over a situation, or they're kind of like, oh, well, like, you know, we, like, if anyone brings it up, like, hey, like, what the hell, there's still discrimination going on around here. It's like, yeah, but they're in the Akademiya now. It's like, yeah, but look at this. You know, it's kind of like again, like I said, it's like bringing someone to university but saying you can't use the computers and you can't use the library. And here's your assignment. You know, it's way less than the other people's assignment. There's no room for growth. There's no room for academic achievement. Man, you probably, I know I'm saying my blood boil, like my blood's boiling, but like I feel like it's one of those things I don't even need to say because I feel like you guys would be in the same place too with this. It's like so frustrating.
As Grand Sage, policy decisions are your prerogative, but do not forget your roots. You and I were once students too, as was everyone else in this institution.
Yes, you wanted to learn too.
I do hope you will give some serious attention to this matter. I encourage you to discuss issues like this with myself and others, and listen to some alternative opinions.
But again, that, you know, it's the Akademiya.
Great letter. Shame it didn't get to where it needed to go.
Yeah, because it actually is like these letters, so far at the very least. I know there's one with the mushrooms and stuff like that too, but like it feels like they're actually like, you know, interesting, you know, quandaries leveled towards the Akademiya.
And the sender is... Sage Cyrus of Spontamon.
Cyrus? Is that Sino and why am I blanking on the name? Sino and Sethos is the former sage there.
I didn't realize anyone else even knew how bad students like me have it in this place.
Man, I think if it is the Cyrus we're thinking about, then he is like more than he's more than aware, because he had, like, again, he's probably more in touch with the desert than at this moment than we even know, than we even know at this point. Yeah. He was during Sino's story quest. Was it 2? Really good story quest. But yeah, like if there's anyone who would know about this or anyone who has a feeling about this, it's Cyrus, 100%.
So this is where letters from the Sage of Spontamod end up? Nice one, Grand Sage. Really enlightening.
And that showcases, and I'm sorry we're harping on this, but I think it's something you need to harp on. Like, even with like, if the Grand Sage, if a Sage of Spontamod, like a sage, can't even get his letters read, what chance does anyone else have?
Whatever. This isn't what I came here for. Moving on.
But it's good information. It's very good information.
I'm not exactly holding out hope that a letter sent from the desert would even make it here. But if it did,
there's a bit of a warn letter over here.
Where else would it end up if not in this box? I can't believe how much discarded mail there is. Must have been years since someone last went through it.
Showing a lack of care again.
And this is just one box. The whole house of Dana is boxes on shelves. I don't believe for 1 second that any human being has sat down and read through all the documents in this place. Who has that much free time on their hands?
I wonder if this is it. But yeah, what she's saying there as well is like no one's reading through the letters, but like, it's taken you what? Like, if it wasn't for me yapping, it would take you like 3 minutes to read through all these letters. You know what I mean? It's a lack of care. That's what it is. Let's be honest here. That's what it is.
Wait, could this be?
It seems to be. It definitely seems to be. It's very worn. Least fancy envelope in the box, written on crude quality paper. And of course, it would be right at the bottom of the pile. Clearly, no one gave this letter so much as first glance, let alone a second. The handwriting in the envelope looks very familiar. It's your dad's.
Greetings, Halil. My name is Sinuhe.
Yeah.
Chief of the Shimti tribe. I was the one who came to you and your colleague's aid when you ran into trouble in the Great Red Sand.
Man, imagine saving somebody's freaking life and they don't even have the effort to read your letter. If someone saved my life and they said, I'll send you a letter at some point, I'm waiting by the freaking letterbox. You know what I mean? Especially if they're that kind. Hey, if you could help me out in the future, I'll drop you a line. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for that text. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, there they are. Oh, hey, dude, what you need? You know? What you need, buddy?
I don't know how well you remember it now, but I brought you to safety and gave you some water and other supplies.
Oh, they barely had...
You seemed very pleased and told me your name.
And they barely have anything themselves. The people in this tribe. The people in the sand dune.
In my tribe, learning a person's true name is serious business. And I, therefore, see you all as friends. You were kind enough to leave your contact details, so we could stay in touch.
Such a kind individual.
The Shimti tribe lives a harsh, nomadic existence in the desert. You were sympathetic towards my plight, promising to make me a special ambassador of the Akademiya and help us find a way to make a better living.
There's two things that can come from this. There's one thing is we could believe in our heart of hearts that the person who he did save just didn't get the letter, right? I'm willing to go down that path if that's what people want to go down and like if that's what we can believe. The other path is that he didn't. He just said this just to appease him, you know.
This brings me to my reason for writing. Our tribe has fallen on particularly hard times, and I would like to ask for your assistance.
He was so desperate, and of course he was desperate for anything.
There was a terrible sandstorm a few days ago, which blocked up the well in our land. To ensure my people's survival, I had no choice but to venture into Iyab and Unut territory in search of an alternate water source. The Eob and Unut are descended from the Thamudians, while we trace our ancestry to Tulatala. We worship the Lord of Flowers and have had relatively good relations with our fellow tribes up until now.
Yeah, so there's like, it seems like there was like a good like relationship, but he was worried about backlash here as well. Of course, worshiping the Lord of Flowers here as well.
I found a well belonging to the Eob tribe. They declined to help us, but I really had no other option. So I took some water to keep me and my tribe alive. My actions are certain to incur their wrath. When we met, you assured me that you would be my ally in the Akademiya.
Oh, Jesus.
I would like to take you up on that offer, because I really need your help. I wonder if you could send an Akademiya representative to meet with me.
Why is it? I'm gonna cry. I'm like, and how it ended up. You know what I mean? Like he was trying to get help from the. It just makes me so sad.
That aside, the last time you were here, you mentioned that the Akademiya had started accepting students from the desert, and I told you a little about my daughter, Nefer.
And he was already like campaigning to have Nefer be a part of it as well.
We have next to no resources here in the desert, and my power and influence are limited. Would you consider enrolling my daughter at the Akademiya? She is a smart girl. I know she won't disappoint you.
Oh, she is. She's so smart. The care he has for this daughter. Of course he has care for his daughter. He's a good person. Like, legitimately, you can hear it even in his words. Even in the words in his letter, the way he writes it is so generous and kind, even in distress. You know, putting the ball in the court of the person in the Akademiya as well.
From the outset, the Akademiya never took you seriously. Those things they promised were just empty words.
That's what I was saying.
I doubt they even remember the name Sinuhe.
That's what I'm saying. And in the letter, he's like, remembering someone's real name is a big deal that makes you a friend. They didn't even think twice about the name Sinuhe.
And you were so emphatic that your luck had finally changed for the better.
You could tell in the letter, right? You could tell in the letter, like, there was a hope to it. Like, it was like, he was writing a letter to a friend. He was like, oh, like, he probably didn't get the last letter as well.
You swore you'd lead us to a better place one day. You spoke with such conviction. Like you were the most powerful chief in the whole desert.
Oh, he did that for you guys, for sure. He did that for you guys.
You liar. You lied about everything.
Oh, Nefer.
You promised the world and delivered on none of it.
I think he genuinely did all that for you guys, to keep you guys hopeful, to keep you guys having something.
And who fell for it? Just me, by the looks of it. Despite your best efforts.
I know it's actually like a big, I think it's an intentional contrast as well to have like the kind of like really pristine like letter that has all these like different markings on it. Like even like their letters, there's a discrepancy in like their paper. You know what I mean? That's how different things were, like, and they were up in, like, let's be honest here, they still were like that up until the point that we arrived there as well. And again, we didn't do, like, I'm not saying we did it, by the way. I'm saying like I'm talking about the time itself. Like when the time we showed up, this was still happening. They're making efforts now to connect both regions again. But that's what it is. It's efforts. You have to see the full thing to fruition. Like it's horrific. And in this case as well, like I know Nefer seems very upset by this as well. I genuinely think her dad like was hopeful, but also at the same time too wanted to keep on that like that hopefulness for his people in the sand dune.
Which makes you a pathetic liar. You weren't even any good at it.
I know there's like a disdain for her dad as well, because like she sees this as like lying, but it's like, you know, it's like, oh, you weren't able to deliver any of the promises you gave to me about the Akademiya. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's a very, and again, I'm not going to sit here like crapping on Nefer for saying this, because I feel like it is like one of those things that like, how do you even come to terms with reading something like this anyway?
I think I'll take over from here. Let me show you how it's done.
It's always very difficult to get through, get through, right? And like to describe, I always like to describe how I'm feeling physically, right? Because I feel like, you know, I get so entranced by these games and they make me feel so emotional. Right now, there's a feeling of like anxiety in my stomach. You know when you feel like anxious? There's a feeling of that in my stomach, but it more relates to the idea, I think, of like feeling sad rather than feeling anxious, I guess. But the thing is, like, we saw there the discrepancy between, like, you know, the desert and Sumeru and the Sumeru city, but also we saw, like, you know, the differences that they have there as well, how they treat the people of the desert, how they see the people of the desert. I genuinely think, and it's clear as day, they let people join the Akademiya from the desert as, like, a fake olive branch, as a way to, like, quell maybe, like, some unrest or quell some feelings. Because even, like, Cyrus was like, buddy, I know what's going on here. Because Cyrus said it was more in touch with the desert than any one of the sages, like 100%. And he even wrote, like, yeah, this is, like, you're not helping them in any way. Because the thing is, like, let's be honest here, like, if you had this idea, we're going to integrate people from the desert into the Akademiya. On paper, that's a great idea, right? Bringing people from the desert, have them come to the Akademiya, have them, like, you know, be able to pursue something they love, and eventually maybe, like, make it better for, like, the people of the desert. But the issue is with that as well, even on that level, is that it shouldn't just be this, like, you know, a few people from the Akademiya come to the Akademiya. It should be like, let's work on making this better for the people of the desert right away. Let's integrate them right away. But this is all these little things. Let's bring people to the Akademiya is a way to quell any unrest. It's the way to make in a way, maybe it's probably, I don't think they care about making themselves feel better. I think it was a way to kind of be like, look, see, we're doing something, aren't we? We're doing something. They're coming to the Akademiya, you know? And then what the result of it is, they're like, oh yeah, but they can come to Akademiya, but they don't have access to the anything we have, and they won't be able to learn fully, and they won't be able to learn from the teachers fully. That is 100% racism and discrimination. Just like end of. There's no beating around the bush. There's nothing beating around the bush there. That's 100% what that is. And it is, and again, they feel like they're like these saviors, right? Oh my God, we brought, you're in the Akademiya now. You know, look how far you've come. You know, when in reality it is 100%. This feeling of like, oh, I'm saving you, but in reality, it's them being discriminated against in just a different way. It's like now you're discriminated against, but at least you have a building over your head, right? You're still being segregated, but oh no, don't worry. Look at all the books. Don't you feel a lot better? Huh? Haven't you made friends here? You should feel great. I'm not saying that's what they said, but you know for a fact that that's what Akademiya feels. Like, it's very frustrating, and it's a system that, like, it's clearly been in place. Even when we arrived there was still that discrimination, and there still is discrimination. Let's not lie. There still is. And it's a part of Sumeru's history, and it always will be. That's what it will be, always a part of Sumeru's history.
I just came to say goodbye.
Oh, my blood's boiling.
Thanks for everything you've done for me in my time here.
Nefer? You packed your bags. Where are you going?
I wonder if this is when she's, like, headed towards Snezhnaya or not Krai.
I'm quitting. Something's come up in my hometown.
Oh, she's going back to her hometown.
Gonna head back and deal with it.
Huh? But this was a hard-won opportunity for you. You know that better than I do.
Yeah, she's working hard, and they're not giving her anything for it.
It was, but it doesn't matter. I have more important things to deal with, and they can't wait. Oh, and I didn't want to overfill my bags, so I left some incense on your desk.
That's nice.
What's wrong? I thought you liked incense. Although, I did read somewhere in the House of Dana that it has hallucinogenic effects. Don't use it all at once.
Oh, she read that letter.
Isn't this the stuff you brought from your hometown? You're just letting me have it? But you said it's a rare and valuable commodity.
Yeah, about that. I lied. It's not rare at all. There's this bunch of ruins near my hometown that are practically overgrown with this plant.
I appreciate anyone who goes like, yeah, I lied. You know what I mean? I love someone who, like, just goes like, yeah, especially when it's not a lie that, like, hurts anyone, you know what I mean? But, like, the idea of just being like, yeah, I was fibbing, you know?
It's not worth much. Keep it. It's fine.
But Nefer...
All right. That's all from me. You take care.
Don't forget me, okay? I mean, we're more than just classmates, right? We're friends.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'll remember you. I lied again. That incense is worth a fortune. And it's a rare
Oh my God, double lies. She lied twice. And this lie was maybe to make her not feel bad about it.
And as for remembering her, I have far too much to do when I get back. No time to reminisce. I'll be lucky if I even make it through this alive. But either way, I expect I'll forget you.
And here you are remembering her. It's forcing you to see it. This is one of the most, like, heart-wrenching but incredibly written sequences, you know what I mean, in Genshin. And Nefer is, and like I said, this is like a story quest. Like this is like what you would see in like the second hour of a Nefer story quest, right? And I feel like maybe they are integrating it into the story a lot more. I know there is like quests like with the reward, what do they call them? Like, what's the thing that I have that I never get? The thing you do the bounties with, the rewards. What are they called? Oh, whatever they're called, those things that are almost on my map that people are like, why isn't Calvin getting his rewards for that yet? But yeah, like, it's really well written. It really is well written. And it's hard not to just like have my blood boiling over this, but like, again, I won't ever apologize for that. I won't ever apologize for feeling, because that means to me is like, you know, two signs of things. It means that like Genshin is intentionally trying to make you, like, again, like I said, for this whole quest, Genshin is not trying to be like, oh yeah, like, I hope you're having a good time with this, you know what I mean? Genshin is totally implementing the idea that I always have with art, and I always have this with any game we play. Sometimes games will make you feel uncomfortable. And sometimes games, and it's like, and however we feel, right? However we feel as people, as humans who have empathy, are looking at what's happening to Nefer and the people of the desert and stuff like as well, and what's happening to the people at Akademiya, what happened to her dad, all this stuff. Imagine how they feel. You know what I mean? However we feel as our blood is boiling, how do they feel? Really horrific stuff. But again, it's really well written in the sense that like it all like, you know, falls into place and kind of like oh yeah, that like you can tell what they were trying to go for. The idea of like, you know, pretending that they're going to learn some of the Akademiya, as a way to subdue them, the way like one person like at the stage like realizes what's happening, but they're kind of like, you know, dismissing what they're saying. Any meaningful change that is handed to them, whether it be about like, you know, the idea of like you know, drug use, or the idea of like, you know, helping them learn better, or helping people of the sand dunes like survive, all that's kind of brushed aside. And it's to me, it's so, again, I don't think you can make the parallel, but like the idea of her dad being like, you know, remembering someone's name is a sign of being true friends. And for Nefer, she's like, I'll forget you. Right? And I wonder if there's like this thing for Nefer that maybe she's like, at least right now, because we know she has a connection to Yehuda and Lama. I wonder if there is like this thing where it's like, you know, like her job is so much to do with like giving out information and brokering information. I think there is a parallel between the idea of like her having a lack of people not wanting to teach her, to her like, you know, making information basically a commodity. But I also think that maybe there's a parallel between the idea of her like, you know, being so reluctant to like help people, wanting to help people, because there is like a innate lack of trust for the world in her heart, right? And it's not unfounded. It's, you know, if there's anyone deserves to not trust the world, it's Nefer right now. She's an incredible person who could, from what we know from Nefer, could wipe the floor with any Akademiya member. So it's hard to watch anyone treating her badly. Let's play more of this as well. Yeah, like, I hope you guys understand. I'm not going to ever apologize for getting angry or have my blood boiled, because I feel like, you know, that's like a discredit to Genshin. You know what I mean? That, like, is really well written. And for the people that are outside Genshin don't understand this, and it upsets me sometimes. But you kind of have to move on, right? Because sometimes, an odd time, again, I barely get Genshin posts recommended to me on Twitter, because I've literally muted the word Genshin, and I blocked the official Genshin account, and all these, like, Genshin fan accounts that, like, are the biggest ones, I blocked them, right? I know it sounds bad, but it's just so I could literally, like, you know what's gonna be so funny though? Like, I blocked them just because like they were like, you know, I don't want to get any spoilers just in case, but I what if like one of them like get your fan account like watches my videos and goes, I should follow. Oh, why am I blocked? You know, I hope if they do see this, know that it's because like I just like, it's nothing personal. I'm just trying to make sure I don't get any spoilers whatsoever, and it's helped quite a bit. But an odd time like before, I would get posts that like would be random like non-Genshin posts, where people would be like, you know, Genshin's just about fan service, and Genshin's about this. And I've said it before again, like, it's like people who think Genshin's about fan service have no idea what they're talking about. Genshin is one of those series that actually isn't like about like, oh my god, look at this pretty lady, look at this, you know, look at this, oh my god, look at this outfit they have on. You know what I mean? The designs are always like very germane to like their actual personality and their location and their culture. In a lot of ways, not always. I know sometimes they do get it wrong. But like, it's also so interesting that, like, I've said this before, like, the stories are so great in Genshin that like only people who play Genshin really understand. And also at the same time too, like, Genshin is one of the only franchises that gets called a fan service game where the fans are actually like, no, We're begging for more topless men. Please, take Kave's top off, you know? Like, there's so little fan service in Genshin that there's, like, people begging, you know? You know how little fan service there is in Genshin? There's people taking screenshots of, like, Kave's butt in a split second of a cutscene one time. Like, the split second they catch his butt. Huh, we got it. You know what I mean? That's how little fan service there is. You know what I mean? Like, and people on the outside don't understand that at all, you know? It's a legitimate thing where people are they're so starved for fan service. They're like taking screenshots of like random like split second clips of like I'll hate them lifting up his arm and it looks like he's flexing for a second. You know what I mean? This is what's happening. You know? I need people to understand this. That's what happens in this game. It's not a fan service game. People need to understand. We want more fan service. If anything, we're begging for more. If anything, we're begging for a smidge of just like, you know, do a beach episode. You know what I mean? Do one beach episode where everyone's, you know, in their trunks. Like the time when like Toma, for example, like even like I was like that too when Toma like had his freaking his top off for the flower festival and like everyone was sharing it like it was like, you know, the second coming of Jesus because we rarely get stuff like this. It was like, oh my God, look at him. It's like it's just a character with his top off. Just, you know, oh, sorry, I'm going off the deep end here, guys. Oh. We have to, like, lock in now. No more thinking about Toma with his top off. That's for later. Just watching her as she walks in as well. I'm boiling as well, by the way, and it's actually, like, a very cold day, so I think it's, there's like a lot of feelings going on here.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Arif.
Mr. Arif.
So, what does the Akademiya want? Since they've sent their special ambassador, I assume there's a big business deal to be made. If not, I'd be very disappointed.
So he wants a business deal of some kind?
Please, sir, lower your blade. You're lucky I'm the one they sent. Not all special ambassadors share my admiration for the Iab people.
I mean, they don't share any admiration for anyone in the desert, really, you know, at all.
The ever-shifting balance of power
the people of
in the
Akademiya.
desert reduced the once great civilizations of this region to rubble and sand. But the story of the Iab has a very different trajectory. Others grew weak, but you grew strong.
Wow, okay.
Beginning in obscurity and moving to prosperity. You're the only ones who defied the trend.
So these are like the outliers.
Huh. So you do know who you're dealing with.
He's like, flattery will get you everywhere.
This well is the perfect symbol of your strength, is it not? It used to belong to the Unut, but it looks like you have control over it now.
So they're talking about the wells, yes.
You're not wrong. But I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to flatter us.
Hopefully not, but we'll see.
Of course not. I came to bring you some very good news. Some information that recently came to light, which might just be your ticket to freedom.
Oh yeah?
Records uncovered by the Vahumana Darshan show that a certain well currently under Iab control is built on top of some ancient ruins. These ruins are of great archaeological interest to the Akademiya.
Do you think that these are the same guys I think that actually slashed all her people to death? I wonder.
I checked the map carefully on my way over here, and I'm confident that this is the well in question. The Akademiya is offering 50 million mora in return for excavation rights.
Is this actually... she's just lying about this, right? Or is this something that's actually happening?
50 million?
Oh, you're perking up now.
No, wait. If these ruins are as important as you say...
Put the sword down!
50 million's a little low, don't you think?
Don't get greedy, Iab. We know far more than you think. We know that you seized this well by force.
Oh my god.
Wasn't that the first step in your rise to power? To drive away the Unut and steal their water supply?
See, this is what's so crazy about these tribes. I think if it is the same tribe, like they're like, you stole our water well to like to the people of that sand dune, and it's so crazy that like these people are stealing water as well.
So what if it was?
Then get off your high horses all the time. Get the sword out of her face. Look at this, the animation's so good. All of them like creeping in closely. It's a threat. That's what it is.
As unscrupulous as it was, it's something we're willing to overlook. The Akademiya is only interested in dealing with the de facto power holders in the region.
Okay, so it's like okay, we don't want to. She's saying that the Akademiya doesn't want to deal with like anyone who's like on the lower pecking order.
I hope I am making myself clear.
And I hope your words are the truth. If I find out the Akademiya is trying to play me, I'll hunt down every one of your people and make you watch as I cut their heads
Jesus
off one by one.
Christ. And she says your people. I think you already destroyed her people, by the way.
I assure you, Chief, that would not be in your
Get the sword off her
interests. You don't want to make an enemy of the Akademiya.
I think she's playing them around here quite a bit. Maybe like I don't know exactly what's going on here, but it seems that way.
You see how I'm dressed, don't you? I appreciate that you've never been to the rainforest, but surely even you recognize an ambassador's attire when you see it.
It's the best dressed Akademiya member I've ever seen.
And what does a barbarian like you have to lose anyway? You really think the Sumeru Akademiya would bother to come all this way just to lie to you? We have more important things to worry about.
Even the way she's talking right now, by the way, she's getting very good at like the communication aspects of like making it feel very like how do I say it's like she's staying calm. She has like a very calculated like tone in her voice. She's not like showing too much emotion either way, you know?
All right, I take your point. The Akademiya is the highest authority in the land. I'm sure you're trustworthy people.
We're not, but...
In that case, we have a deal. We will sell you the excavation rights. I'd like to thank you, Ambassador. This is good news indeed. Excellent news. In fact, it calls for a celebration. Would you do us the honor of staying a while and enjoying some Eob hospitality?
That sounds awful.
Gladly. I am partial to wine myself, and I trust you are as well. So let's indulge in a few drinks together, in celebration of this momentous occasion.
Again, I think what leads to the prospect of new wealth is almost intoxicating as the wine. That makes sense. But when the new day dawns, it brings some shocking news. It's like the idea of this hopefulness.
Chief!
Is intoxicating.
Chief, it's an emergency!
Oh god, whatever this is, before this is, I wanted to say that once again we see like how Nefer got to where she was and how good she is in negotiating, you know, this too, and like which makes her relationship with Nefer with Llama so important, because Llama is able to break through these cracks or break through this like surface, you know.
It's the Unut. They've taken the well.
Oh, they've taken it?
What? Well, don't just stand there. Take it back.
Yes, Chief.
I have every confidence in the Eob's military superiority, and yet...
Well, what is it?
The Unut's response was alarmingly fast.
Yeah.
The day after we reach a deal, they seize the well. This can't be a coincidence. Perhaps there is a traitor in your midst.
Is she trying to sow like so many seeds of doubt here as well?
I don't think so.
It happened very quickly, buddy.
I am obliged to remind you, Chief, that the Akademiya will only deal with the de facto power holders. If you cannot regain control over the well, I'm afraid you won't see a single mora of that 50 million.
And by the way, I'm the only reason I was like, oh, is she trying to do like a little bit of a... Obviously, she is trying to finesse them, right? 100%. Because she left the Akademiya, right? 100%. But what I was saying, like, oh, is she like tricking them with that too? I was wondering if she found documents that they were trying to buy this, and now she's like trying to like, you know, use that as a way to get through this. But it could be just like she's making it up as well. You know what I mean? But I do know she is finessing them here, and she's actually doing a very good job.
No, please, Ambassador, just give me some time. I swear the Unut will not get away with this.
Isn't this crazy that Nefer walked into this village? They held a knife to her throat. They were acting like they were the big men. And then Nefer, within a few hours of drinking with them and a deal she made with them, he's like, no, please, you know, how much it's changed. How much the want for money and power, like, will make someone desperate to be like, to change their whole demeanor with Nefer.
That well is ours, and so is the Mora.
Even her stance here, like she's doing such a good job of just like being like very cold and emotionless here.
Glad to hear it. I will wait here for an update.
If there is a traitor, I will find them. In the meantime, make yourself at home. I'll report back as soon as I have an update.
Much obliged. Wow. All it took was a few words and I've got him wrapped around my finger. What an amazing feeling.
Yep. And here's the thing, it's like as I was saying, like within a few hours of drinking and like a deal, she was able to finesse them this much. You know what I mean? Like within a few hours. And you could see why like she is like the key information broker in Krai, you know what I mean?
So, in summary, Ambassador, the Akademiya would rather negotiate with our tribe instead
Wait, she
of the
finessed them
Eab.
too?
Yes.
Oh my god, what the hell? She went back and forth.
The Eab are ruthless murderers who don't listen to reason. And now they have the gall to interfere in our research projects in the desert region.
That is honestly like it's actually pretty like, you know, it first of all shows her talent for negotiation, shows her talent for speech. Let's be honest, shows her talent for manipulation as well, right? Like we have to be honest here, 100%. And again, not all manipulation is bad, but like it genuinely feels like she is like, you know, showing like how she got so good at what she's able to do.
So let me ask you, Chief, if you were the Akademiya, what would you do?
Oh my god, she's so good at this.
Kill them all, of course.
Jesus, man.
Precisely. The Akademiya does not tolerate those who stand in our way. The Eab have held back our academic pursuits for too long, and our patience is wearing
So she convinced them to go and take the well, I'm guessing?
At the same time, there is simply no way that the Akademiya can be seen
Oh my
to be
God.
intervening in desert affairs. I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from.
The reason I said, oh my god, is that Nefer's basically like saying like, hey, you guys freaking kill each other, okay? You guys kill each other. We can't get involved. I can't get involved.
We have our own rules out here. If the rainforest dwellers raised arms against a desert tribe, it'd start a bloody war.
Right. We can't confront them ourselves, but we can support their enemies. The Unut have always had strained relations with the Eab, which makes you our natural allies.
Like, genuinely, like, it is, like... I know, like, it's like me praising him. It sounds like I'm praising, like, the idea of, like, you know, finessing. But, like, I think it's one of those things where, like, it just shows her, like, how good she is at this stuff.
Natural allies.
You see what I mean? Even now, like, again, like, she is, like, pitting them against each other perfectly.
Weren't the Eab your allies once? You were quick to send them after us to protect your interests back when we stole that water.
So that's what happened, okay.
And now look at you. You're at each other's
So the
throats.
story was that these guys then sent the other guys after her tribe to... Okay, then 100%, like the finessing is, like, more than moral. This tribe sent... And by the way, I want to make clear, not everyone in the tribe is going to be evil, you know, or something like that. I want to make that clear. There's, like, probably going to be young people there as well that don't have anything to do with it. But I'm saying, like, what happened here is that they sent someone else after her tribe to kill them for the water, and now they're having bad relationship with the Eab tribe as well. So she's like, you're not getting off scot-free from this either.
Let me be clear. The Akademiya wishes to collaborate with the legally recognized
Oh my
rulers of the
God,
desert in this
Nefer.
matter. We are asking for excavation rights to that well, and our offer is 50 million more.
Like, you have to understand here that, like, money for anyone, like, 50 million more is a crazy amount.
Say no more. I believe we have an understanding.
And I wonder if she decided this after reading her dad's letter, because it's like, oh, you said you were lying to us. You said you'd make change. You know what I mean? This hurt that's in her heart. I wonder if she's doing this from that place of hurt and feeling like a place of betrayal where she's like, my father didn't do anything because he was too kind. He was too kind to these people. He was too reasonable. He was writing this letter. So I'm going to go down and sort this out between these two tribes here. I'm going to make sure that they pay for what they did. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen to anyone ever again. I'm going to pit them against each other.
Good. Then I suggest you get to work. Get us access
Jesus,
to that well,
man.
and the more is yours. You see, Dad? Lying is easy when you know how. People will believe anything.
So I think this whole quest so far has been absolutely nerve-wracking, right? But I think what's happening here, like, maybe again, I'm only doing interpretations and like, you know, trying to like oh, we're here. Oh yeah, I forgot we're like here. I always like look at the map whenever like we finish like a quest to see where we're going next. But yeah, we're still here. Like, oh well, doing a little dance there. My interpretation of this is like, of course, I don't know if it's like purely revenge or if it's trying to prevent anything from happening in the future. It could just be revenge. It could just be like, F these guys. These guys don't deserve this water. My father wasn't able to do anything about this. I'm going to do something about this. So I wonder if it is something like that. You know what I mean? But we're seeing here like how good she is. Again, it doesn't. She's showcasing here as well that the idea of like a. Our eyes are shaking. Oh my god! They tore each other apart. Let's not be like this. Was about to say. Let's not beat around the bush with this. This was over money. This is what this was. They killed each other over money. And I think as well, like it's playing on the fact that, like, you know, I think there's two things you could say. Like it plays on the fact that the desert people don't have like a lot of money as well. But I also think that it plays on the fact as well that like she knows that what they did over a water well. That they were willing to kill her people over a well of water, over a sip of water. What would they do over 50 million? Look at the knife in his leg, by the way. Oh, she's laughing about it too. Nefer.
Look at yourselves. You may be vile,
oh my
savage
god,
monsters, but your butchered bodies bleed like any others. You're no different. You're nothing special at all.
Jesus. Again, she's like, hey, you may be like monsters, but like, when you die, when everyone dies, they go to the same place. They look the same. They bleed the same.
The monsters who destroyed my home, they're just ordinary, petty human beings.
Oh my god.
What a joke.
And again, with this as well, it's like the idea, like, look at her face, by the way. Look at this. And it's not just like how she looks right now. What she's saying is like, you know, in my mind, these people who were able to destroy my family and kill them, like, you know, she probably built them up in her mind this idea of like what they were, like how terrifying they were, how like brutal they were. And with an offer over the course of a day, with the offer of 50 million more to both tribes, she showed that like these humans had no problem killing each other. Oh my god.
I think we're even.
So it is
now.
revenge. There we go. It is like a thing where she wants to be even.
Maybe I've even done the desert a favor. It's a better place without all these people.
I definitely want to know your guys' feelings on this as well. Because like for me, it's like one of those situations where like, from Nefer's perspective, I'm not going to go into this telling her that the way she like, I'm not going to say to her the devil, like, oh, don't do this because like, you know, you're hurt. Like, you know, it's going to make you feel worse. And it might make her feel worse in the end, 100%. To her right now, this was her like showcasing that these monsters that did what they did to her, which again, let's be honest here, these characters here, those two tribes that did that, horrific, absolutely horrific what they did. You can't come back from that. You can't, right? What they did was absolutely horrible over water, over a basic survival necessity, water. And they did this over at Mora. And this is what she wanted in her heart.
Oh, Sinuhe. My gullible
That's what we were saying,
father.
yeah.
Perhaps if you'd been as ruthless as I was today, our tribe's people would still be alive. In this dog-eat-dog world, a chief needs to be tough to survive.
It's sad because the fact that like the world has made her feel this way, right? And it's like, and she's not wrong in saying that like she's just experienced discrimination, she's experienced slaughter, brutality, struggle, a lack of help, people looking down on her, just said that discrimination, all this stuff here. She's experienced that in this world, especially for someone from the desert. Nobody is going to help you whatsoever. And now, as we said, she looked at what her father did and said, you're being too nice. And she's felt the need to be ruthless to deal with what he couldn't deal with. And it's not his fault. It's not the father's fault because he was such a beautiful, hopeful man. I want to make that clear 100%. But from her perspective, this happens a lot with people where the idea is like, you know, he failed to protect us. He failed to do anything he could do to protect us. And when in reality, he was just a good person who was trying. I'm not saying Nefer's a bad person. I want to make that clear. He was a good person that was trying his best. But that led to, and he didn't mean for this to lead to it, his kindness led to the slaughter of his people, which then led... Okay, no, I want to make it clear. I have to speak clearly here. It did not... That's not what led to the slaughter of his people. It was bad people. It was always... It's the bad people are to blame. That's who's to blame. These people are to blame for what happened to the people in the slaughter. You could say, like, oh, well, stealing the water or whatever, that's what's to blame. Killing people over water is always wrong. End of. No discussion. There's no debate there. What they did was absolutely horrific and horrible, and it will never be excused. So I didn't mean to make it sound like because he was kind, that's why they died. No, it's in Nefer's mind. It's because he was kind is why he died. But clearly, with these guys here, what they did over here over money, what they would do over a well, these guys would have killed over the smallest thing. But in Nefer's mind, all she sees is my dad was too kind. She let these people kill our tribe, and look what I was able to do just by being a little bit sinister. And that's something that's gonna play in her mind. I was able to be ruthless. Yeah, if I was able to be a horror, not horror. I don't want to say horror because again, like this is like she saw her people slaughtered. Like she saw like all of her father died. But she's saying herself, I was able to be ruthless, and because of that, I was able to accomplish something that, like, my dad being kind wasn't able to accomplish. And that's what she's going to see in her mind forever.
But you couldn't do what had to be done.
Yeah.
So I did it for you.
Wait, there's the characters, the silhouettes, there's Yehoda and the Traveler, and oh my god.
Nefer, it's okay.
Oh, Llama.
All of this is in the past now.
Oh, I was choking up the Llama straight away goes to, like, help Nefer right away.
I believe I remember you promising to remain silent.
Oh, she's like, I don't even want to talk about this.
Yeah, but even so...
Yehoda, is there anything you can do to ease the tension?
Oh my god, look at Yehoda. You got this, Yehoda. It's your time to shine. I adore Yehoda.
Time for a sharp turn onto a completely different topic.
Yehoda eases the tension for me all the time. I adore her so much.
So, anyway, that's enough of that. When are we getting out of this
That's the way she's easing the tension. Hey, that's enough of that.
Feels like we've been walking forever. I'm getting pretty tired. Oh, Alma, you tired?
Yes. If we can find somewhere to sit down, I could certainly do with a rest.
It's not far now. There should be a temple just up ahead.
Is this situation about to reach a conclusion?
Yes.
Really? A temple? That's where this story ends? I guess that's how things go in the desert.
I've been similar to a place with a friend from the desert before. True, yes, we've been to many temples, right?
Desert dwellers can never escape their destiny. Or so everyone says. I never wanted to believe it, but looking back now, I'm as desert as they come.
Wow. Because you know what's so funny as well about this as well? And like, I again, it's one of those topics where, again, I will never understand how this feels. I want to make it clear. But they stood in front of her and they said, oh, your like skin color is different from the people in the desert, right? You're all this stuff, like you're different. Oh, you let her have a chance. Let her leave the desert. Let her do all this stuff. You know what I mean? But even as she left the desert, they still treated her as someone from the desert. They still treat her like that. So as she's saying here as well, it's like, even like with all this stuff as well, even though like I you know, even with all this stuff happening, even with all these changes, even with me going to the Akademiya, I'm still a part of the desert. I can't escape my destiny. And she feels like this was part of her destiny.
You mentioned a temple. What's waiting for us there?
My biggest trade secret of all.
Oh, yeah?
Ah. Then I'm guessing it's where you got your power from. The power to peer into other people's minds.
I didn't know you were clued up on any other religions.
I'm no expert in the history of Sumeru, but since you come from the desert, I would imagine it has something to do with King Deshret.
Oh my god, King Deshret. And the 7 pillars who served him.
Sounds impressive.
The King Deshret story, Yehoda, is incredible. It's a really incredible story with so many, like, you know, misinterpretations that happen throughout the years. There's a lot of stuff there. I have some friends with connections to this stuff, 100%.
Oh, I know who you mean. General Mahamatra Sino. The spirit of Hermanubis dwells within him.
And you were talking about Cyrus earlier.
That's Boss Nefer for ya. She knows everything.
Oh my god. You want to look it up to Nefer?
Sino's hardly a figure of obscurity. But I know about Sethos too.
That's so cool.
What about him? Is he a big deal?
I would say Sino, Cyrus, and Sethos are very big deals.
Well, he's not a small deal. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you sure know about your stuff. Knowing Sethos, he could literally like be like, you know, standing up on a rock somewhere. No, he's probably like too. No, I think he would be around. Yeah, he would be around, right? This isn't like ancient history.
Please, this is the bare bone basics. Save the flattery.
We're just being nice, right? I feel like if you went to some places in like Nod Krai and asked them about Sino, they wouldn't know who it was, you know?
Thanks for your patience, everyone. I'm sure it's been a lot to take in. With any luck, that's our exit just up ahead.
No, it has been a lot to take in, but like we're here on this journey with you and for you as well, if needs be. 110%. We're not here to turn our back on you whatsoever. Yeah, another absolutely insane look into the past of Nefer, and yeah, it was for revenge. It was for revenge. It was because she felt that her dad was too nice. She felt like it was a dog-eat world, a dog-eat-dog world. And again, the reason why she felt this way was because of discrimination she felt, because of the way that she was treated, because she saw that over the course of some water, her people were slaughtered. That's what she saw, and it's true. That's what happened. Over some water, her people were slaughtered. Just end of. And she knew how, like, she, again, in her mind, 100%, if water was able to do this, what would 50 million more do? They brutalized each other to a destructive degree and ended each other's tribes. She knew this would happen. And then afterwards saying as well, like, the idea of, like, you know, she's going to show us where she got her power as well, which is also a very interesting aspect too. But again, I hope you make it clear when I say this, like when she says, you know, like it's like the idea of like, you know, she can't escape her destiny, she can't escape the idea of being from the desert as well. I think that's like, you know, like one of the, you know, that's again such a common thing in the world as well, where like, you know, people do just, you know, and yeah, as we've seen, not everyone discriminates. We saw that with her teacher that wasn't able to teach her, and Cyrus, of course, they don't discriminate. Like, Jesus, imagine Cyrus discriminating people in the desert. That'd be like, you'd lose hope then, wouldn't you? Forever. But there's like this thing with like Nefer, where like she feels this dog-eat-dog world now because of all that, because of the brutality she's faced, and she shouldn't have to feel this way. Wait, we've been here before, right? Right? Is this where we saw Jet for the first? No, maybe. If there's a hole down here, it's where you saw Jet for the first time. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just similar. No, wait, have we been here before? We might have been here before. Well, I'll check it out later. But I remember, and it's not the same Jet Temple, because remember the Jet Temple had like a hole down here. So gorgeous, and the architecture in Sumeru of the temples is always really pretty. So stunning looking. Uh-oh?
I'm totally out of my depth here. I don't have anything to add about any of this stuff. Like, look at that statue, for instance.
It's okay. You don't have to, like, I always have to add stuff in.
I want to do the whole name-dropping, this girl knows her stuff thing too, but I've never seen anything like it before.
There's no pressure for that either. Like, I don't think anyone, like, you shouldn't feel pressure for that.
A statue with the head of a bird.
Looks like somehow the King Desert's mausoleum.
That's Thoth, the Ibis King, one of the 7 pillars of King Deshret. The legends say that he, the Crocodile King, and the Goat King were the 3 retainers of King Deshret.
The Crocodile, the Goat King.
Let's take a look.
What the? Oh, the cat!
It's just Ashru.
So, all is well?
Is this like the first time she met Ashru?
Typically speaking, at this point, the world disintegrates.
It's a really pretty cutscene as well.
Then we find ourselves back in the outside world.
Oh my god, look at.
Besides, these are my memories. There's nothing to fear.
You're sure?
Of course. It's almost over.
Whoa. Was that the abyss? What the hell? Oh my god, yes, the Traveler's stepping into action right away. Good, good. Like, he didn't waste any time whatsoever, and I love that. Oh my god, someone do something!
Nefer, hold on!
Oh my god, it's like dragging her down to the ground. What the hell? What the hell? Rerir! Knowing too much?
Is always a death.
Leave her the hell alone!
Speak for yourself.
What the hell? Don't leave her alone! What? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Good, good, good. Block him, block him. Jesus Christ! And this music is... What is happening here? What is that?
How repulsive.
Who's... What? What? And he's using her power against him too. Holy freaking hell, you just showed up out of nowhere! He was the one who was leading... Oh, of course it was Columbina! And Dane. Oh my god, Dane, did you see Rerir? Oh no, yes, stop it, stop it. My heart is pounding right now! That was terrifying! He kept like aiming these blades towards her freaking head, man. He was aiming to kill her. Holy frick.
Timed that pretty well, didn't I?
Columbina once again saving our butts over and over again. Absolutely incredible. Holy hell, she's incredible. She really is. I think that's like what's so insane about this as well in that cutscene is like, it really did feel like even Nefer let her guard down, which is a rare sight for someone especially who's been through so much to like, she saw her cat, started rubbing the cat, and she's like, oh, this is where the memory should end, right? Because I think she's probably seen her memories before, right? But like, it seems that Rerir was trying to lead her towards this point and he was waiting for her there. That's what led her towards this point. And with the power of his like his wild hunt arms, he was dragging her down, and he was like aiming these blades towards her head. He was aiming to kill her. There was no like, oh, I'll incapacitate her. I'm going to like freaking do something here right now to her. And he said knowing too much as well, by the way. So he knew that she was inside of his head, I think. I think he knew that she saw so much of his past as well. Knowing too much, but is what he said. Knowing too much. I would say they lulled me into... can I tell you what I thought was going to happen in that cutscene? I didn't think it was going to be a big action scene or something like that. I thought it was going to be like maybe the gates of the mausoleum were going to open. And Nefer's like, was going to be something like, this didn't happen before. You know, that type of thing where it's like, something else is happening here. You know what I mean? Like that's what I thought was going to happen. But clearly Rerir blocked our exit the first time and led us to here. But now we have to be sure that we are in the right place as well. But I think that's what he wanted as well. He wants us to be there. But he said knowing too much. He made sure he mentioned the idea of knowing too much. Absolutely freaking brutal, man. Like let's just be honest, absolutely like terrifying. And if it wasn't for, I guess, Columbina once again, we're in deep trouble. We're in deep, deep trouble. Incredible sequence. Incredible. You certainly did. Thank you so much. Yeah, my head is... You know when you get like it feels like, you know, you just had like someone frightens you or something like that? You know, like they give you a quick fright and your whole body like goes into like defense mode, you know? That meme where like the guy does like the karate chop motions? That's what I feel like right now.
It's okay. I'm just glad no one was hurt.
Jeez, like, where would we be without this gal? Honestly.
Paimon noticed you doing something too, Dainsleif. Were you helping get them out?
Was that his power?
Of course. When I asked Nefer to conduct this investigation, I was not naive to the dangers involved.
Yep, I'm so glad he's here too. It's so great to see Dane, and honestly, like him getting involved with Rerir as well, that's like a direct involvement.
I had a duty to ensure your safety.
Good to know your sense of justice is still intact after all these years.
I mean, like, again, I believe in Dane. I do believe in Dane. I don't think any character's perfect, and I think that's like one of those things I'll say as well. Like, there was lots of debates in the comments about, like, did Dane's involvement and Dane's knowledge of all the stuff that's happening there. I think I'm on the side of that he didn't know. I think or at least he didn't know the full extent. I think some people are on the side of he didn't know anything. Some people are on the side of, like, he did know a lot. Some people are on the side of, like, he knew everything. And I think that's, like, what's so interesting about this, too, is that, like, I could safely say that about my comment section, at the very least. A lot of people disagreed with me. I think it was like, one of those things where like a mounted people disagreed with me, but like I didn't come away feeling bad about it whatsoever. I think that's a good sign of a good community, that like no one made me feel bad about my opinion, and I didn't make anyone feel bad about their opinion, and everyone kind of had this kind of like, and I can't speak for everyone because I didn't see every single comment, but like, because sometimes there'll be replies to comments you don't see. But I can say that like, on the basis of the comments that I saw and replied to, there was like a bunch of people who were just like being really respectful,
I take that to mean that you saw the truth. That comes as a great relief.
There we go. Yeah.
I certainly did. And thanks to your help, I also managed to trap Rerir inside.
Wait, he's just in this chest set now?
Whoa, really? How'd you manage that?
That's crazy.
Well, to be honest, I sensed that something was wrong long before we made it to the temple. By using this fragment to probe into Rerir's past, well, the monster formerly known as Rerir, it seems I alerted him. I was tracking him, then he caught on and started tracking me too. Can't say I'm surprised.
Okay, so when you went to his past, he was alerted, which is what we thought. He kind of realized what was happening. So then he turned it around and said, I'm going to track you. Oh my god. So that's what happened when she left and she went in sumeru. He's like, oh, hey, take a look at your past then.
But how did he track you through your thoughts alone? That shouldn't be possible.
Rerir was a secret agent who reported directly to the Vinster King. He is an expert at finding a trail and hunting down his pursuers.
Yep, like he deals in this stuff. That's what he deals with.
No wonder.
Mm-hmm.
He infiltrated the chess set, read my thoughts, and built a new virtual chess set inside of it.
Insane.
That's why we weren't able to leave at first.
Absolutely insane.
Speaking of your chess set, it's quite a remarkable item. Would I be right in thinking you have some connection to King Deshret?
Why when I hear Dane talk, I just feel like my heart like skips a beat.
You overestimate me. I only have a connection with one of his underlings, the Ibis King.
So that's where she probably got her power as well.
You all saw how this came to be. A long time ago, the Iab massacred my tribe, the Shimti, in our home village. A few years later, I enrolled in the Akademiya, where some new information...
So she's kind of summarizing everything here as well.
The Unut and the Iab fought a bitter battle over the rights to a well, all for the sake of a non-existent 50 million mora. The Iab ultimately won that confrontation, but their victory came at the cost of almost every
we saw that.
in
The leader was
tribe.
still alive, and there's one girl in the back as well who was like had her hand over her face, which to me, like if you have your hand over your face, it means that you're probably just hurt. But yeah, they were gone. The rest of the tribe was gone.
The final blow to the Iab came at the victory feast, when an Unut assassin beheaded their chief right before my eyes. The remaining Iab fled and have been scattered to the winds ever since.
That's insane. Like right in front of her as well.
Having gotten my revenge, I returned to my hometown, where to my surprise, the nearby temple was still standing. There it was, seemingly immune to the relentless hostility of the desert, while my tribal home lay in ruins.
So it's like almost like this pristine like flower amongst the oasis of destruction.
As I stood there gazing at the temple,
Oasis destruction. Sorry, desert
I noticed
destruction.
a cat just outside. This cat, as it turned out, was home to the spirit of the Ibis King. He led me to a gate deep inside the temple, and there he made a deal with me.
This cat all this time was just the Ibis King his whole time?
This chess set is my gift from the Ibis King. The chessboard within is made to the same specifications as the one in the mausoleum of King Deshret.
Wow.
And represents his power of piercing analysis.
She made a deal with one of the pillars of King Deshret.
With this chessboard in its container, I gained a certain ability to perceive hidden secrets. Now, you could conclude that the Ibis King simply wanted to give the people of this world the power to seek the truth. But I don't believe that's the full story.
Okay.
Every god plays favorites. Their hearts are as fickle as any human's, full of secrets, perversions, egotistical tendencies. But precious few gods are willing to admit this.
So, yeah, I think it's actually, like, honestly, like, you know, what she's saying is not wrong. Like, it's like we you know, with some, you know, people put gods on a pedestal, but we have known throughout the years, and if you talk about, like, even archons as well, they have their own personalities, their own feelings too. If you look at, like, Aeons and Honkai Star, we talk about this idea too, that they're not just like these beautiful beings, you know what I mean? They're like, they have their own personalities even. I think it's also important as well, Nefer bringing this up, like the idea, like, you know, that the gods aren't your friends, you know what I mean? They're not just people who are, like, going to help you all the time, you know?
It is the same with all powerful forces, including fate itself. Their gaze falls preferentially upon a select few. As you rightly point out,
love it.
This is an act of favoritism.
I love the Dane and Nefer interactions, but, like, Dane just like, yeah, he's like 100% you're right. You know, and again, this is tough for coming from someone who's cursed.
If you're alluding to the Abyss, then yes, I agree. Gather the others. It's time to share everything I've learned.
Oh my god, this crew as well. Very intense scene. Before long, the group gathers in the office are too busy to attend on. Okay. Oh my god, just like one of the pillars of King Deshret just sitting here on the little cushiony bed.
Thank you all for being here.
Look at this crew. I'm telling you, man.
As promised, I did some further investigating into the Rerir of Solnari's background. I am pleased to report that the investigation has been most fruitful indeed.
Oh yeah, we learned too much, in fact.
The Rerir of Solnari, real name Rerir, was once a Conrian subject who served the Vinster King. I will now share the important details of his story. Please save any questions or comments for the end.
See, we sat through that story, like, bitterly, right? We had to sit through the whole thing, you know what I mean, like, firsthand. Nefer narrates Rerir's backstory to the group. At the Vinster King's behest, he gathered intelligence to assassinate descendants of the Crimson Moon's dynasty. Unwilling to take down his beloved, Thalundus, who was secretly Crimson Moon heritage, he then got dragged into court politics. Villeneuve's voice, which spoke to him, his fate, was like a reflection of the moon. Though he could disturb the waters to gain some temporary relief, he was powerless to erase entirely. So, like, they see the voice as a reflection of the moon. In contrast, Rerir's own life was like a reflection of a broken moon. One of the stormy winds of fate blew across the water surface. It was utterly destroyed. So, like, it was his life was so already, like, turbulent and, like, could be destroyed at a moment's notice, because all it took was a stormy wind to blow across the water, and the ripples destroyed his reflection. Thalundus smuggled away a piece of the moon before disappearing through the mysterious portal. It was passed down through the ages, finally falling into the hands of the knave. So Thalundus actually got the piece out, and that's how it got into the hands of the knave. Okay. But what lies on the other side of the portal is a whole other world. Yeah, that's the moon gate, right? Thalundus never had the chance to share what she found here, near to the Rerir, who followed her in.
So that's why he's so obsessed with the moon.
A tragic tale, to be sure. But it does not excuse his many transgressions.
Not even close. It doesn't even, like, make up for a single thing.
No matter how much Rerir suffered in the past, the fact remains that he is what we know today as the Wild Hunt, wreaking havoc upon innocent lives and not Krai.
Yeah, and as much as he suffered emotionally, the suffering he had emotionally is 2% compared to what he did to, like, it pales. It's nothing compared to what he enacted on people, on children. It's nothing. It's not even close to being anything. It really isn't. So yeah, even the stuff he's doing now, like there's nothing to excuse what he's doing now. There was nothing to excuse what he did in the past at all.
He becomes more dangerous with each passing day. If left unchecked, it is simply a matter of time before all of Teyvat suffers the consequences. This is a threat that the Knights of Favonius cannot ignore.
I mean, it feels like one of the biggest threats we've ever had in Genshin, right? For sure.
A question for Miss Columbina. Forgive me if this is presumptuous, but have you ever seen the spatial gateway that appeared in Rerir's memory?
I wonder.
Never. But I have heard stories of something called the Moon Gate, and this seems to fit the description.
Okay, so she's heard of something like it, I guess.
Miss Lama, any thoughts on this?
In the lore of the Frost Moon Scions, the moon is believed to hold many secrets. Some sources speak of ancient knowledge, others of a gateway to the unknown.
So there is like lore that they know about this as well. So they say it's like it can be for ancient knowledge, or it can be just like this portal to a new world or of some kind.
The term Moon Gate is one I have heard before. But as is the case with all of our legends, there are no records of any first-hand witnesses. We cannot know whether it truly exists.
Right, okay.
Then back to Miss Columbina. As a moon goddess yourself, do you have some idea of where the Moon Gate leads to?
Yehoda's talking to Ibis in the background here.
Not at this stage, sorry. I do hold the power of the Frost Moon, and my strength is recovering well.
Okay.
I can sense that the gate would open at my command, but...
But she's not sure, like, where it is, I guess?
But there's more to the power of the Frost Moon than that?
Yes. A moon goddess has the right to open the Moon Gate, since it is a path to the moon. But as Nefer mentioned, holding open a spatial gateway takes a huge amount of power.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, especially since it is like a powerful portal of some kind.
And right now, I need to conserve my energy to fight the Rerir of Solnari.
Oh, look at the Paimon.
I'm afraid this is one mystery we may have to leave unsolved for now.
I mean, that's the thing. We do want her at full strength, right? She's been the most, like, you know, she has been our savior multiple times now.
I agree. Better to save your strength. But if you'll humor me for a moment, I have a bold conjecture of my own regarding the world beyond the gateway. I highly suspect that neither Tholindis nor Rerir made it through unscathed. The evidence pointing to this is the fact that the Rerir of Solnari exists in the form of countless fragments.
Oh, so like all those... yeah, he was separated.
With the abyssal power he wields, no ordinary foe can touch him, let alone tear him to shreds. And yet, the wild hunt proliferates wherever his scattered fragments lie, drawing hordes of monsters to many different locations across the land.
That's crazy. So it's like yeah, that because we thought there was idea like there were like, you know, these different fragments was like basically like fragments of him, obviously like they're like getting scattered across the land.
So your theory is that Rerir was physically torn to shreds by some powerful force, hence why the wild hunt is a distributed phenomenon rather than a unified one?
Because there's so many parts of him all over the place.
Makes sense to me. Explains why the wild hunt is so pervasive, and why he's been trying to piece himself back together. He was whole to begin with, and he wants to be whole again.
Yeah, just trying to find those fragments, right? Just trying to be his true self again. And it's probably why he was so, like, bitter when he came out and he wasn't, like, he had his full power, right, you know? And he, you know, he screamed Rhindaughter's name and Tholindis' name.
Without the power of the Abyss on his side, he almost certainly would have perished the moment he was torn apart. But the Abyss, much like a curse, has kept him alive.
I mean, that's like, you know, like kind of like the Curse of Dane as well, like, you know, with what happened in Conrir 2. It's kind of insane, like the Abyss is something so horrific, but is the thing that's holding him together. It is like the glue that's holding Rerir together at this point.
I could not agree more. The power of the Abyss is most surely a curse.
Yeah. And if there's anyone who knows this, it's Dane. If there's anyone who feels this, it's Dane. You know what I mean? 100%.
It is a compelling explanation, and one that accords with my present understanding of Abyss creatures. Whether the life form in question is primitive or advanced, if a curse has extended its lifespan unnaturally, it will continue to survive in spite of everything.
And that's the thing, in spite of everything, right? The idea that, like, yeah, even, like, with, like, anything that's been thrown at it, it still won't be able to, like, fully, survive, I guess, is what we're saying.
This raises some interesting questions.
It still will survive, sorry.
And see if there is any validity to my suspicions. That being said, regardless of whether my research bears fruit, I would like to thank Miss Nefer for conducting such a thorough investigation.
Oh my god, yeah.
Already, it has greatly enriched my understanding of the entity we face.
Especially like all the stuff that she went through there as well, like that, like she had to look at her own past as well. She was dragged into like the horrors of her own past as well. What happened with her father, the discrimination she was, that was levied against her as well back then too. Like she had to go through so much there, as well as seeing all the horrific things that happened with Rerir at the same time too.
My pleasure, Mr. Albedo. I too hope that the information I have shared today proves useful as we look to formulate the next stage of our plan.
And then we also got a feel of like how dangerous Rerir truly is and what, his past. Like, he is a terrifying entity.
Hey! What is it, Dainsliff? You look really upset.
Oh, Dane. I mean, this is Dane's past too. Like, this is directly Dane's past. Like, all the stuff that she relayed, like, it's a big part of his past.
It's just... when I think of the man I once knew as Rerir, I struggle to understand why things had to turn out like this.
So, the thing that he's saying is too, like, this is one of the reasons why I think that he didn't, like, know everything that happened with Rerir. This is my feeling, is lines like this. Because a man who would, like, excuse and, like, try to, convince himself that what he did in that time was right would act like this, right? But he obviously knew him at one point as, like, a really good and honest person. He once knew him as that.
The two of you used to be friends, didn't you? I don't know if these words will bring any comfort, but my heart goes out to you.
Yeah, and here's the thing, regardless of how bad Rerir is, right, by the way, and I want to make this clear, it's one of those situations where I won't sit here and be like, oh, I'm so sorry about Rerir, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so sorry about this. But you have to understand from Dane's perspective, this is literally losing someone who he thought was an amazing person. He thought was incredible, to the point that he even said to Rerir, like, hey, like, Talonis would be so proud of you. You know what I mean? So proud of you. Yehoda, by the way, is having a laugh with Ibis in the background as well. Like, it is, no matter what, like, we can understand that, like, I'm not going to feel sorry for Rerir, and I'm not going to, like, say to someone, like, oh, like, yeah, like, Rerir is your best buddy, but we can also understand the pain that, like, Dane will be going through right now. It's a big deal for him.
Mine, too. We can never know all the hows and whys of the way things are. The moon and stars are full of untold secrets and lies.
Right.
And the skies are host to many more mysteries than these alone. Yet, none of that can begin to compare with the complexity of human life.
We can never know the hows and whys. Again, she always, like, says, like, some beautiful stuff as well. Untold secrets and lies. Yeah. Human life is complex. And, like, and again, I think it's, like, one of those situations where, like, she's not saying that, like, Rerir is, like, both good and bad. It's one of those situations where, like, it's one of the most, like, like, the human mind works in one of the most complicated ways ever.
Those are the first comforting words I've heard in a long time. Thank you. Both.
Dane with a little smile, look at it. Oh my god, you can see there's, like, a tiny bit of, like, an upturn of the smile.
Well, I think this is a good place to end today's meeting. I'm sure Nefer needs some time to recover.
Oh yeah, 100%.
She's been through an awful lot today.
That's very thoughtful of you, Llama.
Yeah, oh my god. And again, like, the fact that, again, like you said, like, she doesn't trust many people, but she has, like, this like, love for Llama and, like, this connection with Llama,
Of course.
And Llama understands, and it's good to understand as well. And I think the comforting words that Dane heard there was, like, the idea that, like, sometimes it's, like, you don't understand. I think, like, sometimes that can be comforting. Something it can be frustrating, but I think also at the same time, too, it's one of those things of, like, it sometimes is good to hear that, where it's like, when Dane's like, I don't understand why my friend would do this. Like, how did he get to this point? How would he like have done any of this? Whereas then, very rightfully so, we have, the Columbina saying, well, humans are weird. Humans are so weird.
Sounds good to me. Take some time.
It's hard to understand how complex they are
before we reconvene to nail down a plan.
100%. 100%. Back at the hotel, you sit with Paimon for a while and discuss what lies ahead. Okay.
Hey, is this a bad time? Hope I didn't kill the conversation.
It's fine, come in. But so what we learned from that conversation is that, like, Nefer got her power from a pillar of King Desert, Ibis. That was the cat that was, all along was the cat that was in her office. Rerir found out that he was in his mind, and so he reversed it and then made her go into her own mind as well. So she had to see all this stuff too. So he was as a way to kind of like trap her at that temple. She was able to contain him within the chest box, and now we've learned all this stuff about Rerir to the point of, like, you know, that he went through the moon gate. He's scattered like the moon's reflection. He's scattered all over the world, and that's where the wild hunt came from. And he's trying to put that all together because, again, he's not a unified force. He once was unified. He wants to be unified again. And in terms of like learning like what was happening in his past and stuff, I guess it's one of those situations where like we're learning that there's a person that used to be an amazing person there. That used to be, and again, from Dane's perspective, used to be an amazing person, right? And again, I'm not downing anyone else's. I'll make it clear. Everyone has opinions on like if Dane knew, if Dane didn't know, right? I that's, you know, I'm going with my opinion, and in my opinion, it's one of those things where like I would think I think we'd have to think less of Dane if he said like, oh yeah, he was an amazing person, because I think like if it's one of those things, if Dane truly knew about like the stuff that was happening with the killing of like 6-year-olds, for example, I think he would instead phrase it as, we all thought it was like, you know, something we needed to do at the time. You know what I mean? I think that's the way he phrased it. He wouldn't just say, he was such a good dude. Because to me, like, if I had a friend who was doing horrific things like that, like, I wouldn't question it as much as, like, you know what, like I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, why is he doing all this evil stuff now, trying to kill Nefer and like just taking over this place? Like, it's like, oh yeah, like he was capable of it before. He was capable of very horrific stuff before. Whereas Dane, I think, is calling on it from his perspective of like his who he knew before that, the Rerir that he thought that Londis would be proud of. Now, I want to say again as well, as I said, like, everyone has their own takes on this, 100%, and I think it's actually, like, as I said, I actually love that, like, no one came around in a negative way. There was some heated discussions for sure, but I don't think anyone felt bad afterwards, and I want to praise my community for that as well, because that's, it was a big topic, and I'm very, very proud to have you guys as my community, honestly. It's fine, come in.
No need. Come on, let's talk outside.
You trying to leave me outside and beat me up? I've seen this before. Get him, Paimon. Jump him.
Anyway, Nefer went back to the curatorium to get some rest.
Okay.
But before she left, she shared some things with me that I thought you should be aware of. Firstly, although she managed to trap the Raker of Solnari inside her chess set, there's no guarantee that the power of the Ibis King is any match for one of the 5 sinners. Their powers are beyond our comprehension. Yeah,
100, and we don't doubt that as well. I think it's one of the craziest things as well, that like how they've never failed to do this, where they build up the idea of the 5 sinners so much, like, in our mind of how powerful they are. And to the point that like a pillar of King Deseret doesn't have enough power possibly to contain the 5 sinners.
It's only a matter of time before he finds a way to break out.
Yeah.
We have to come up with a plan and take care of him before that happens.
I mean, the idea that he was able to break out before is a big deal. The idea that he was able to, like, you know, how do I say it? The idea that he was able to actually, like, not break out, but like reverse Nefer's powers back on her is already a big deal. It shows how powerful he is.
Honestly, my mom figured that might be the case. So, how long have we got?
Well, I asked her that same question. She talked for a long time, but for the most part, it seemed like she was trying to convince me how precious her chess set is.
Oh, yeah?
What a long and storied history it has.
Okay.
It felt like some kind of sales pitch, you know? The kind where you end up handing over Mora against your will. Anyway, after all that, she finally answered the question.
She's very proud of it, clearly.
2 days, at most.
2 days, wow. So she has at least an idea, which helps, right?
2 days? Holy moly! Can we even recruit enough help in that time?
I wonder.
That remains to be seen. Which brings me to the second issue. Dainsleif is obviously conflicted about this whole thing. But given how little time we have, there's no way we can pull this off without his help.
Oh yeah, 100% we need his help. And the conflict that he has here, I wonder if it literally is just because, like, this was my friend. This was a person I cared about. I love this person. So I'm not, like, going to sit here and, like, be like, man, Dane, you suck for this. Because again, why is this like, you know, I think if any person in this game said, Dane, this dude is a horrible person, please, like, you know, leave it. Please stop thinking about him. You know what I mean? I wouldn't ever, like, insult them either. 100%. I wouldn't even go against them either. But I think it's also important to note as well that, like, the conflict in his mind doesn't come from, like, thinking, oh, like, these people are definitely, like, oh, like, he's a good person. It comes from the place of, like, I used to adore this person. And that's totally fair, right? It's totally fair to have this feeling in your heart. While I expect Dane to help us 100%, I don't doubt that. I think it's also okay to acknowledge his feelings, even if, again, it's complicated in a way that we look at it and go, like, this dude's horrific. But even if he was horrific, from Dane's perspective, it's like, he's thinking of the person he used to love, right? We're not going to sit here and say, like, oh, like, it's like, oh, like, you know, he was a good person. But we will sit here and say that at one point, he had people that looked upon him favorably. Like, you know, to the point that, like, at least Dane can be like, man, what happened here? Because Dane, more than anyone, has felt the betrayal of the five sinners. He was standing there, and he already got betrayed by the other sinners. And then imagine that, like, you see Rerir coming along, you're like, and he literally said, Rerir, you're here, you know? And I think that's when the last bit of hope drained from Dane. And the fact that we saw him smile there, by the way, means the world to me. Because I think in that moment he realized, oh my god, look at all this crew that I have around me. Because usually it's just us. For Dane to be out in the open with all these people means the world.
You have some history with him, right? Do you think maybe you could talk to him for us?
I'd love to talk to him. No problem.
Great. I appreciate it. All right, on to item 3. So, Albedo, Durin, and I put our heads together and came up with a plan. Can't promise it's gonna work yet, but at least it's a start. We figured we'd bounce the idea off you first. We'll explore it further once everyone's recovered.
Whatever you, ask away, please. 100% let me know.
Oh, Paimon's dying to hear this.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what we're thinking.
In hushed voice, Varka lays out the current plan. It's a shocking plan, but nothing can faze the greatest traveler on the trustiest travel guide in Teyvat. That's sweet. It doesn't take you long to get behind it.
We felt a little uneasy about roping you into this. I mean, firstly, you're not local.
That's never stopped us.
Secondly, none of us are your boss.
Never stopped us.
You're well within your rights to refuse if you so choose.
I'm very happy that he mentions this, though, right? Because, again, everyone had felt this way. Like, if we refused to help, like, Natlan, yes, we wouldn't have the great friends we had now, but, like, they're not going to hold it against us, right? But it's really cool to hear someone say this, right? Especially from someone who, like, is a knight of Avonius, right? To be like, you know, who was one of the people that started our journey, you know? To be like, yeah, look, you don't need to help anybody. And I think that's what people, you know, decide about, like, probably about a Traveler 2. Like, you know, whatever people, like, bad about them, like, as, like, you know, whatever, it's like, they don't have to do any of this. They can make a living off just, like, killing hilly churls and stopping, like, you know, monsters from stopping carts in the road. They could make a very good living off that, you know? But yeah.
Roping us in? Why would you even say that? We know the stakes here.
Yeah.
It's all of us against the Rerir of Solnari, or none of us stand a chance.
Exactly, Paimon. And that's why Paimon's so great at this stuff too. And yeah, it's true. Like, it's the same thing in every region. We weren't from Inazuma. We're not from anywhere in Teyvat. You know what I mean? But we still help these places because we care about them.
I choose my words very intentionally, I'll have you know. I like to think there's an art to striking a down-to-earth tone even when the stakes are through the roof.
Sure, I guess so.
Sir Varka.
Oh, Zach.
I have a few thoughts about this plan.
Yeah?
I'm all ears.
I think we can be more flexible with how the roles are allocated. In my view, the most sensible lineup would be like this.
He's giving... Oh, that's so cool. We're going to hear, like, Aether's perspective on, like, how he would set up a plan. But we're not going to hear the actual plan yet, it seems. Like, the full plan.
I see your point, yeah. But if that's how we're going to approach this, you'd better make sure you're ready.
Wait, I wonder if the Traveler said, like, hey, put me on the front lines or something. You know what I mean? Which would make sense. If you, who would you trust more than being on the front line than the Traveler?
To be clear, I don't doubt your abilities.
It seems like that, doesn't it? Not that he's doubting us.
Sure. Are you really willing to take all this on?
Oh my god, Varka. I don't know if you've heard the stories about the Traveler, but this is, like, legitimately, this is a person that would, like, headbutt, like, a dragon if it meant that he had to, like, save, like, one character, you know?
I want to do everything within my power.
Yes.
The Rerir of Solnari is a truly fearsome opponent, and if I do my part, it'll greatly reduce the risk for everyone else involved.
Unbelievably well said. Unbelievably well said.
Well, that tracks with what I've heard.
Exactly.
Jean's mentioned in her letters that you're so diligent it's almost abnormal.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, that's what I'm saying. If you heard about, like, the Traveler, you would know that this is, like, very normal for him.
As in, Most people weigh up the risks and rewards in situations like this. But you seem to just march towards danger without a moment's hesitation.
I'd like to call back to the scene with Nefer, and I talk about this all the time, like, the Traveler jumps into action whenever he needs to, right? And I think it's changed over time where he doesn't have, like we saw there in the Yennefer quest, like, he jumped to kill someone in an instant, because, again, he has changed over time. But, like, the thing with the Travelers, like, what he says is so true here. He saw these abyss hands right in front of Nefer, and there was no hesitation. There was no, like, what's happening? You know? He took out the sword and ran into it, regardless of the damage that could have done to him.
Of course, everyone appreciates a fearless pioneer. But all that aside, I'm the Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, and you're our honorary knight. I want to make sure your courage doesn't come at the expense of your safety.
No, I get it. I totally get it.
Thank you, Sir Varka.
Oh my god.
I should be the one thanking you. It means a lot to have you on board.
Yeah.
I'll give some serious thought to your suggestions.
We love hearing Zach's voice actor, by the way, as well. But how amazing is it now, like, being an honorary knight of Favonius for so long, and then Varka, like, acknowledging us as like that as well. You know, it feels pretty good. It feels really good. It'll never feel as good as when Gina originally gave us that title, but it still feels very good. Varka gives it a very knightly bow and says he'll see you at the hotel again later. He has arranged for everyone to meet and finalize the plan of action, so we're maybe going to hear the plan there. In effort to lighten the mood, he booked out the hotel for this meeting, so you go chat over a drink. Okay, that's cool. As the moon rises in the sky, you and Paimon leave your room, discussing whether Paimon has any options other than fruit juice. You don't like fruit juice, Paimon? Everyone is already waiting for you. They're chatting and smiling. Clearly the rest has done them good. As well as existing crew, some unexpected help has arrived. Who's the unexpected help? Still, you remain conscious of the fact that the future of Not Krai rests on what is decided tonight. Oh my god, this meeting decides the future. So many lives are at stake, you may never meet most of them, but whether they know it or not, all of them are counting on you. Wow. Yeah, I think we can discuss like, I was going to end the video, but I think we can discuss the plans of, like, what's going to happen, because we don't know what the plan is, and I don't want to end, like, without, I guess, like, you know, well, like, we probably will end, like, at some point, but, by the way, because, again, I'm already recording, I think, for, like, over 2 hours, but, I think that, like, the way the whole scene was handled was great. I think it's really, you know, I think it's really cool that the people of Not Krai want, and the other regions have done this for us, too, it's like, we don't want you to, like, do anything that's against, like, you know, like, your own health and your own risks. But, like, you had here, like, the characters, like, you know, Varka, who was, like, the head of the Knights of Favonius, is like, you're not from here. We don't want to put you in any danger. And I think that's, like, such a very cool thing for him to say, you know? Like, it's a very cool thing for him to say. Like, he doesn't, you know, and then, of course, our character, once again, you know, jumping right into the fray and changing the plan clearly to be on the front lines of some things, clearly to be in the line of danger. But we have 2 days to figure out what's going to happen here. We have 2 days. Before we go any further, I do want to, like, I do have a wish over here that I remember I just wanted to use, like, get it out of the way before we get to the end of this as well. Oh my god, it's, Dia. Dia's come home. She's come home. Oh, there's Nefer. Was that, wait, there's Dory? Nefer? Oh, they were like, you're not looking at who's here.
This is a thorough plan. But I do have one last question before we take action. How can we be sure that our enemy won't leave the designated area?
Wait, so we have to trap him somehow, I guess?
Great question. Albedo's been hard at work analyzing Rerir and the Wild Hunt's behavioral patterns. His conclusions are as follows.
Oh, so it's gonna be pattern-based. Okay, like emotional pattern-based. Okay. And if it's Albedo doing this, we trust it.
Firstly, from the earliest known confrontation until now, Rerir has never displayed any ability to manipulate the dimension of space. So it's unlikely he has any power in that domain. Secondly, he seems to have a particularly strong vendetta against our group. If we put him in a fight-or-flight situation, he'll choose to fight every time.
Yep. Yep, and honestly, like, it does seem that way, right? Like, there's never been like, he has fought, but he's escaped before as well. But, like, the majority of the time since his, like, revival, he has always been, like, the kind of the aggressor. We've always had to run from him. He originally ran from us, and then once he gained, like, that power, we've been running from him.
Thirdly, finally, and most importantly, he is consumed by hatred, both for the moon and for his enemies.
So in that case, the knave, anyone who worships the moon, his enemies, you know, Aether, Columbina.
Turns out we tick both of those boxes.
Oh, yeah.
We have a reincarnated moon in our ranks, and a spy who accessed his private memories without permission. He'll be baying for blood, not looking to escape.
Yep. This actually makes perfect sense. I love that they're using the behavior of a character that we've seen firsthand. They're not just telling us this is what behavior is. They've shown us this and then they're describing it. Really, really cool.
As someone who's had their fair share of interactions with the Wild Hunt, those all seem like valid observations
110%.
to me.
And again, that's what I'm saying. They showed this to us. It's such good writing to, like, again, show us his actions and then just basically, like, so we actually understand this. It's not a situation of us going like, oh, that's what he's like. No, we've seen him be like this. We've seen him like this.
Understood. Then I will defer to the verdict of the group.
Do we know what the full plan is? We know it's something to keep him in one place, at least.
Well, everyone, that's the plan in full detail. Albedo and Durin are carrying out their part as we speak.
All already working.
Plan approved. Scheduling.
Oh, and Nefer's doing a little schedule.
Okay. Any firepower you need,
yes.
I got you covered. Let's light this baby.
Yes. I am always a huge fan of, like, the night before a battle when everyone's like, we can do this, all right, guys? You know, and then everyone's like, tomorrow, we fight. You know, this is what it feels like.
The Frost Moon Scions
yes.
are behind you as well.
This is like, you can have my bow, you can have my axe.
And the rest of you?
The rest of you, come on, guys. Of course, look at Nefer smile. She's like, I'm here. Yoda. Dory even is like, yeah, let's do it.
All right. Then it's settled.
Look at this.
This is the plan
I
we're
get
going
chills.
with. Next up, an old tradition of mine. Anyone who wants to back out, now's your chance.
Is anyone going to back out? Again, you wouldn't look down on anyone for this. This is terrifying.
Wait, we can still back out of this?
Everyone says things they regret, right? I don't want anyone feeling trapped because their mouth said yes before their brain had time to think things through.
This is so accurate, by the way. I want to say this too. Like, it's so accurate for anyone who's gone through social situations. How many times have you said yes to go into a party you regret? You know what I mean? So accurate.
A very people-first approach. I hear that's common practice in the Knights of Favonius.
Oh my god, Nefer. Like, I need to take you to Mondstadt. Everyone needs to go to Mondstadt. It is like, it is heaven on earth when you get to talk to the Knights of Favonius. Like, they are, like, genuine. Even some of them are a bit weird, but they're genuinely, like, just such a sweet bunch of people. They really are.
Who'd you hear it from? D-Luke?
D-Luke?
Shh. We don't use people's real names.
Oh my god!
Work. This contact will be known only as Owl.
So she's in contact with D-Luke? That's awesome. That's awesome.
This plan can only work if everyone does their part. Flint's and I will absolutely support it.
Lovely stuff.
We shall indeed. You'll be glad you accepted our help.
I love that everyone's, like, so determined to get involved with this too. But again, I love that he also said, hey, like, it's fantastic that, you know, it's fantastic he let people, like, opt out, you know?
Also, you are the last person I expected to see here, Miss Dory.
She's gonna be offended.
It's not often I get called
I guess not.
in a work context. My peers usually call me Lord Sangamabe.
The animators for Genshin are like, okay, we have Dory in the scene. Everyone, pop off.
So, the longer your name, the higher your net worth. Is that the idea here?
That's an interesting way of putting it.
In that case, Mr. Flint's here must be worth a
No!
fortune. That's right, I know your full name. It's...
Oh my god, he literally put the hand right in front of her.
The walls are thin here. I'd appreciate you keeping that a secret.
Yeah, you gotta keep that under wraps.
Okay, fine. I'm actually only here as a favor for someone else.
Okay.
Do you have any idea how much it would cost to hire me otherwise? Oh, does this mean someone out there actually has the power to boss Dory around? It most certainly does not. We have a long-standing and mutually beneficial business partnership. She's actually the mom of a friend of yours.
Wait. The mom of... When I think of the mom of somebody, I think of Alice, right? That's what, when I think of, like, you know, Klee, right? But, like, is there other moms I'm forgetting? The Knave? Right? Mommy, Daddy?
Said mom supplied me with a great little trinket, but now that lady's ruined everything.
Alice.
If I don't start building a little goodwill now, my whole business in Krai is gonna go down the drain.
And acting like Alice couldn't boss you around, Alice could boss me around, to be honest, like, you know, at this stage, like, you know what I mean?
Okay. So what exactly is so special about this pendant?
It's a lucky charm that a great mage made for me. We have a business relationship, and she was worried that something bad might happen to me. So, she wanted me to have something that can store power to protect myself with.
Okay, that's very nice of her.
I finally got it all fully
Oh my god, look at
charged
her.
up, and then Nefer went and used it all up at once. Never lost so big in my life.
Oh, the tears in her eyes as well.
You're right. It was all my fault. I didn't mean to drain all the Kuvaki in the pendant, but I'll make it up to you.
You will? Well, in that case, how about you give me your chess set, and we call it even?
No.
I knew you'd
Wait,
say
what?
that. Well, it's yours if you want it. In fact, take it now. And I'll even throw in a free Rerir of Solnari.
She said, you want to take this problem?
You're putting me in a difficult position here.
I love the Dory's like still contemplating. She's like, well, I could have this chess set, but like there's a sinner inside of it.
It's a very useful thing to have around. But I have a funny feeling it won't be around much longer. I guess we'll see in a couple of days.
Yeah, she's seeing it's probably going to be destroyed, right?
Looks like bankruptcy for me.
Hey, don't be so pessimistic. See this through and you never know. You might find a new business opportunity on the other side.
100% making friends, you know? And also, you know, not Krai and Teyvat will still be in action, you know, and so it'll still be alive. You and Pym decided to check out the things the stage and preparations are going. Okay, so I think it's actually like I think like we're about to get into like we're checking out the preparations. I'm guessing like I don't want to like you know what I mean? I don't want to check out the preparations for everything and then like you have them be like, okay, let's go, and then I end the video, right? So we're gonna end the video here. I think it makes a good idea to end the video here. This is a weird episode because I feel like it was like a very emotionally high episode. At times it was making my blood boil, but I think intentionally so. There was an interesting like story beat after story beat. Some really terrifying aspects to this too, but very interesting aspects also. And I feel like this is like this act for me, the way I'm playing it, it's really felt like there's been a. While it feels like it is like a big high point for the story in terms of like look at all this big massive like story implications, all this stuff too, it also feels like a beginning, a middle, and an end in a way, right? This definitely feels like the middle point where we're trying, we're getting like a lot of information, we're building up to something as well. It feels like we're heading towards like the ending point, which will be clearly a battle with Rerir. And I didn't think it would happen in this act. Now here's the thing, right? It's one of those things where like I think that. And I'll know this, by the way, tomorrow because I'm recording the next part tomorrow. If this is one of those situations where the next part is like only 30 minutes left or something like that as well for my video, you won't even hear this conversation right now, probably. Or you will, but then I'll be like, I'll put up a text that says we're going to finish it tomorrow, right? But I just judging the way things have gone so far, this has been a long act. This is the longest act in Genshin I think I've done so far. I don't think I've ever gone through an act ever in Genshin where I play... Because I would say... No, that's wrong. I'd say Act 5 Fontaine for me personally was at least 7.5 hours. I think that would be the longest I've gone through so far. So this is like up there because right now we're heading into like around 6 hours with this act, right? We're heading into there. Maybe I'd say I think we've hit the 6 hours mark probably as well. But that's just the way I play it. I know like I'm a yapper. I'm a big yapper supreme, 100%. Because I think even like I'm such a big yapper that I think people see the length of the videos and sometimes people think, oh, he's finished the whole act in one video. Because then I'll have like, and then I don't blame people because I don't think people intentionally do it because like moderators have told me that they've had to remove comments of people talking about like the end of like an act at the like before they even watch the video. And like that's always the thing where like I find that funny more than like, because again, you guys know the rule. If it hasn't happened in the video, you don't talk about it. That's the end of. There's no debate about that. But I think sometimes people will do that. And again, from moderators telling me to remove stuff, or even like in case like I'll get messages sometimes of people being like, can you like remove this comment? Like, and just don't look at the actual comment, just like find the username or whatever, which rarely happens as well. But I think it's like one of those situations where like people think that like, I finished the act, but like I'm not going to apologize for yapping. I love yapping. I love talking to you guys. I love having discussions with you guys. It's really fun. But this is the end of this episode here. We're going to end the episode here. Let's find a nice place to kind of like talk in front of. It honestly feels good to kind of be out in the air, right? It feels kind of good in a way. Not a bad feeling whatsoever. Now, I would say there's not a lot we can talk. There's a lot we can talk about, but it's not gonna be as heavy, as intricate as the Rerir stuff, because I feel like we're just kind of recapping some of the stuff with Rerir as well. But we'll still talk about other stuff with Nefer as well, which is also very interesting too, for sure. Let's get into photo mode for a second here as well. Oh, we have some mail. Oh, thank you. Thanks so much. Where's my photo mode? Where's the photo mode again? Oh, here it is. Yeah. That flashing light might not be too nice to look at, I guess. Barbara dancing wouldn't be too bad, you know what I mean? I'm just, again, I notice it's one of those situations where people are like, no, it's not a problem, Calvin, don't worry about it. But you know what I mean? Just in case it's people do like looking at the screen while we're doing this, it's one of those situations where I'd much prefer to have Barbara dancing versus, Clarant flashing a sword light in your face over and over again. Yeah, this was another very harrowing episode for me, but for different reasons. I feel like I came into this very excited about the idea of us going back to Sumeru and going to Sumeru and Nefer's mind, and what we saw was what Rerir did, which was basically turn what Nefer did around on her as well. And it's almost one of those things where the idea of curiosity kills the cat. He's knowing. He even said to her knowing too much was the issue here. You learned about too much. And I think as well for a character like Rerir, who we know as a character who hides stuff away from his own mind. He hid this, for years and years. He kind of excused his actions and all this stuff too. Then in the idea of oh yeah, there's the dance. The idea of in the future, where he's in his current form, where his mind is even more warped than it was before. The idea of him not wanting anyone to know about his past and not wanting to look at his past makes perfect sense to me as a character. Not wanting anyone to hear about Thalundus, not wanting anyone to hear about what happened with himself or the people he killed and all this stuff too, because right now he is trying, I think, to become whole again. But I think there is I wouldn't be surprised if there is a feeling of inward shame, but that's not. By the way, I want to make it clear that doesn't make him a good person, because you should be ashamed of your actions. But I think it's maybe a feeling of less about the shame of what he did and more about the shame of how painful his past is for him personally. Again, doesn't excuse what he did. I'm saying that there is probably that's probably one of the reasons he probably doesn't want to look back at people to look back and stuff with Thalundus. He probably feels there's an ownership to the idea of that's my mind, that's my feelings, that's what I went through. Even though again, even in the last moments as we saw him previously, he still was the last time we saw him in his human form, he was still trying to kind of only save himself in Thalundus, right? And I think it's just one of those things where again, I don't know if it's embarrassment, I don't know if it's shame, I don't know if it's just a bitterness of you don't get to see that, that's my past, that he doesn't want anyone to know about that stuff with Thalundus, who knows. But all I know is that when it comes to Rerir, my whole point with Rerir is, and I think a lot of people agreed, is that Rerir is a very immoral character who continues to kind of excuse and continue to excuse his actions and the horrible stuff he did in order to make himself feel better and in order to save himself and his girlfriend. That's what happened, right? So, but I think that, that when I talk about I'm sorry for harping this, but the idea of shame when looking back, I don't think it's a thing of oh my God, he realizes what he did was wrong. I don't think that's the thing. I think it's more of a case of he doesn't want anyone to look back on how he feels maybe he failed himself in Thalundus, right? Where he failed to have this happy life with Thalundus. He doesn't want anyone to see that, because in the end I feel he only cared about himself and Thalundus in the end. That's what he only cared about. It's a really, really horrible situation, and what he did was horrific, and I can never look past it. It's just disgusting. It's just absolutely disgusting. But yeah, he turned that around in Nefer and showed Nefer her past, and with Nefer's past, I think from his perspective, I wonder if he thought look what you did. You talking about what I did? Look what you did, But in a way, it's totally a different situation, I feel too. Yes, Nefer did kill a bunch of people. Let's be honest here, she did. Or at least had them killed. I think there's a big difference between, a bitterness that came from, your entire tribe being slaughtered by these people over a sip of water and getting revenge for that. There's a difference there versus I killed a 6-year-old because they told me he was a traitor. There's a big difference. But even the story of Nefer, and the reason that he was probably, and what we saw there was that she was part of this tribe. I forget the name of the tribe, but it was in a dune. And it was a very hard life for those people. They had, you know, water shortages, there was discrimination, all the stuff that happened towards them. And she had a father, which was Sunets, I think that's what his name was. And her father was like a very honest and like very good man. And he tried his best, you know, to kind of hide all the horrors that were happening from his daughter in the world. But he believed in a way that his daughter was like someone who could like get out of this situation, which is so horrible to think about, that her father was like, please take my daughter out of this situation. He got a well of water and got more water for his tribe. And in the process, 2 tribes, one that influenced the other tribe, the Ibai tribe, Ibe tribe, and the other tribe as well. They basically, you know, led to the slaughter of of Nefer's people. And Nefer then was so hurt by this because she found the letter to, like, you know, the people in the academy. She was sent to the academy later on, but still was discriminated against in the academy. And she saw the letter that was sent to the academy that was basically not even read, of asking for help. And the way Nefer saw this was, again, because we are complicated beings, as was said by Columbina, we're humans, our minds are so weird and effed up sometimes, that instead of seeing this as something that, like, a lot of people would cry, a lot of people would be scared, a lot of people would, like, you know, break down, and a lot of people react in different ways too. And I'm not saying the way she acted, like, I'm not going to look down on Nefer at all. That's not happening. It's not happening. I'm not looking down on Nefer for this situation. What she saw in her mind was, like, the reason my people died, the reason we suffered for so long, and this is such a horrible way to look at it, isn't it? Because, again, it's not true, because the reason you suffer is because there's bad people in the world. That's the truth. And those bad people would have found a reason to do something bad to you as well, to get their own gain as well. If it was over, like, if you stole some water for survival, again, stole some water, like, F off, like, come on, stole water, you stole water. Like, it's not like she stole a bunch of water bottles of Ballygowan, you know what I mean? Like, it was a well, and for their people to survive. And in the process, like, these people slaughtered. It wasn't because your dad was so nice. Yes, you could say it's a byproduct of, like, because he was so nice, he wasn't able to defend against them. But it was actually the reason he died and the people died is because there's bad people in the world. That's it. That's the true reason. I'm never going to blame the victims of a situation like that for what happened to them. And this bitterness that boiled in her blood followed her whole life. And it manifested as, and again, I think it's a very realistic way, it manifested as like a hatred in a way for her father's actions. In a way, she looked at her father as weak. She looked at his father who couldn't do anything for a tribe. Because he was so nice, she said, you basically like doomed us all because you were too nice. So she saw the complete opposite side of the spectrum, where she's like, I have to be cruel and brutal to sort this thing out. And in her eyes, when those 2 tribes were gone, it made the desert a safer place. Here's the thing, factually so, it was like it becomes like 2% safer, but I think it's one of those situations where, like, because the desert was so isolated, and because a lot of, like, the as Nefer said, the world is like dog eat dog in the desert and stuff like this too, because of the way that they're treated. I think it's one of those situations where you destroy 2 tribes that were doing horrible stuff, and they were doing horrible stuff. Let's not beat around the bush and try to sugarcoat it. They were horrific, evil people. First, they held a knife to Nefer's throat, and were going to surround her and hurt her too. That's what was going to happen. And they killed each other over some money. That's what they did as well. Nefer, like, stay on point. That's why I'm not going to, like, that's why by percentages, yes, the world is a better place without them. You know what I mean? You could say, like, by, like, a percentage, there's less people that are going to be around the place trying to kill people. There's less people that are going to slaughter children. 100%. The people who slaughtered their children deserved what they got. End of. Right? But it's also a situation where you chop the head off of a hydra and another one grows. I think it's one of those situations where someone's going to come in and replace them. And we've seen that in the desert. There's people who will attack you in the desert. And I'm not just saying it's the desert, by the way. And I don't blame, I'm not going to be like, oh, the desert people, they just attack you. Because we know there's so many amazing people in the desert. Like, we met, like, Jet. We met so many tribes people. We met the people that, like, have traversed there and lived there. You know, we met Dia. We met all these people who are amazing people. It's just that the conditions that they were brought up in, and the conditions that they were subjected to, and the discrimination and the class differences led to more of a feeling of dog eat dog, because everyone's, like, trying to fight for survival, and it leads to, and again, I'm not excusing what the tribes did, I'm just explaining, like, why the world could become like that is because of the way they were treated. So Nefer destroyed them, and she had that laugh on her as well. She didn't shy away from what was shown there as well, because again, this is kind of like what led her to this place. She is now a very good negotiator. She's very good at, like, you know, brokering information. I do think there's a parallel in her life with the idea of how she now gives out information to anyone who has money, to compare it to the idea of, like, her going to the Akademiya and them not wanting her to get as much information as the other students. I think there's also a comparison you could make as well for Nefer, where she like looks at this idea of like, you know, being polite and being nice to anybody and being overly nice and polite as this thing that's guarded within her, because she knows that what happened with her dad was that in her eyes, he was too polite and too nice, and that's why he died. He trusted the Akademiya, and that's why he died. And because of that, I think she broke her trust with the Akademiya, but I think also later in life, one of the reasons she's so hard to crack is like someone we actually like adore. And Loma even is one of the few people that could get through to her at some points, and Yehoda makes her feel very happy too. I think it genuinely is because like and one of the reasons probably why she's so like neutral in a lot of situations is because she has gotten to a point where she knows that if I act too nice to these people, they're going to take advantage of me, and that's the way she sees the world. Like, I think that's what led to that, right? She then got her power from one of the pillars of King Desert, Ibis. That's the power to see into her, like, people's past and stuff like this too. But what happened here was Rerir set up a trap to basically kill Nefer. He was pointing those blades at her head. Like, let's not lie here. Like, it's not like I'm not saying anyone would. That's just an expression. But it's one of those situations, like, let's not like just like sugarcoat it. He was sending blades towards her head. He was trying to murder her because she knew too much. Because again, that thing of like what she saw with Lundas. He was trying to end her life. And when she was rubbing this cat, right? And she was rubbing this cat here, which was the one of the pillars. She thought this was the end of the story. And I thought it was going to be a thing where the temple opened up. No, he grabbed onto her, tried to kill her. We jumped into action, tried to save her. And once again, Columbina was the one who protected us. And she was able to trap him inside of this, the chest box. And now he's going to be trapped in there for 2 days. And that's what leads us to trying to come up with a plan of how we're going to defeat this thing as well. And of course, we learned as well, he went to the moon gate and he was shattered into different fragments. Thalondas brought one of the fragments with her, and that's what led to the knave being able to get that fragment as well, right? That's what the fragment she brought with her as well. He's separated and he wants to become whole again, and he wants to be at full power, and he has a vendetta against people who are to do with the moon, the people that his enemies. And I guess now as well with Nefer for seeing all this stuff too. So like you're talking about everybody, like everyone in that group there, he has a reason to fight against. And here's the thing, he doesn't have a vendetta against everybody in the world, right? Let's make this clear. But everyone should have a vendetta against him, because if he's left to roam free and do all the stuff he wants to do, eventually he will get to a point where he's so powerful that like nothing can stop him, and Teyvat is doomed. You're talking about the whole of Teyvat being doomed. And I like that we have, because Nad Krai was built up as a whole thing of like all these people working together, all these people from different places coming here to Nad Krai. I love the fact that we have this situation here that there's so many people from different places. You know, we have a person from Sumeru, we have a person from Fontaine who was helping us. We had a person from the house, like who was from the House of Hearth as well. We had a person from people from Mondstadt. We have people from the Frostmoon Scions. We have people, from all over these different places coming here and converging in one place to help each other and uniting under one banner. We have a Fae. We have all these different types of people coming together to help everyone. I think that's what's going to show like this beautiful unity. Whereas the story that the parallel we have here is showing Nefer's past, which was a story of discrimination and separation and a class issue. And whereas you see from the other perspective as well with Rerir's past is also a story of like class annihilation and cultural annihilation and the destruction of a race of people. It is 100% that's what they showcased it. So I think it's really good to show in a contrast this like united front against a bunch of nations against one pure bad entity. 100%. And I think it's really like clever the way they've done this in that way too. And I think it has to be intentional 100%. It's really well written, of course. But yeah, now we have like, we had Dane, of course, having like some conflicting feelings. As I said before, it's one of those situations where it's hard to navigate, but the way I would navigate it is I would never feel sorry for Rerir. I would also never be like, oh, but like, sorry, Dane, about your buddy. I would never be like that either. But I think what's important to be like in any situation like this, it's the same thing if like a friend of yours mother turned out to be like a horrific, horrible person. Whilst you would never be like, oh, like, but she was good to you, wasn't she? She was good to you, Instead, you would say, this is freaking hard. This is difficult for this person, and it's difficult to navigate, and it's difficult to think about. Yes, you're not going to have sympathy for the horrible person, but you look at your friend and go, what they must be going through right now? Because what Dane has to deal with is the idea of like, I used to love this person, and now look what they've become. This person was a big part of my life. And this is one of those things with Dane where he's always talked about his past. He's had to face his past so much, and I do love that, like, Columbina said that thing to him where it's like, oh, humans are complicated, basically. Humans are freaking effed up and we're never truly going to know how they're feeling. I think it probably put his mind at ease because like I think there's so much exploration in Dane's feelings about like why would they do this? Why would this happen? And there's so much bitterness in Dane, understandably so. He was betrayed. But I love that Dane was able to crack a little bit of a smile because look what's happened. Dane is usually like on his own with us most of the time. You know, he's usually with us most of the time. This is like Dane in a room full of like beautiful, great people. And he was able to crack a little bit of a smile. And that's enough for me to be happy with that too. But yeah, I think that's what the nuanced situation we have to look at though. It's like, whilst it's, again, as you said, I can look towards this and be like, you know, I could say like, oh, Dane, get over it. But I don't think that's really understanding the situation. I think it doesn't do a service to Dane because Dane is a character who is like someone beloved to us. I love him to pieces. I think everyone has a different opinion of him as well, by the way. And I want to make that clear as well. As I said before, you can have your different opinions of Dane 100%, but I think everyone has different feelings of him. For me, he's a beloved character who I want to be happy. And I think everyone has like, you know, one of those things where like they have different feelings on that character. But yeah, that's the way I look at that as well. But basically what we're looking at is there's going to be a plan now where we're going to have to try and stop Rerir and everyone's involved. And it looks like the plan's going to involve in keeping him in one place and the Traveler being on the front lines of danger in some case too. I do love how the characters in Nod Krai didn't instantly put him on the front lines like other regions do too. Like, let's be honest here too. Like Malvika is grateful for us helping out Nalan. But if one day we said, oh, we have to move on, she's going to be like, okay, I understand. You know, she would have been. The same with Inazuma. You know, Kokomi would have been like, thank you so much for all your help. I understand. The reason why the Traveler has become so famous around Teyvat is not because he's an amazing warrior. Yes, it is that too. It's not because he's, you know, it's not just because he stopped so many tragedies from happening. It's not just because, like, he is someone who is, like, beloved by many people and some people have fallen in love with him. It's not just because of that. Those are reasons. But it's also because he has a generous kindness to him and Paimon that is known throughout the world. To the point that it's like, it nearly makes me cry thinking about it. He has such a generosity to him that, like, there's nothing that, like, you know, can break through that really. And that people understand that throughout the whole of Teyvat. He has helped so many people. He has, you know, in Fontaine, in Inazuma, all these places. He has befriended so many people. He has a magic touch where genuinely it's one of those situations where the Traveler could literally, like, walk up to, like, if there was literally just like an abyssal entity that had, like, someone drew eyes onto that was destroying everything, you know, the Traveler could walk up to him. And I think, like, if you let the Traveler talk to him for an hour, you'd cut to, like, the rock, this entity, this creature being like, yeah, so we can see each other again, right? You know, like, he has that power over people. He's a very generous and kind, and so is Paimon too. They're very generous and kind, and I think that's what he's known for more than even anything else. Yes, he's known for being a warrior. Yes, he's known for being people loving him and people falling in love with him, but there's so much more to his character as well. You see that there too. I love that as well. Also, Varka said the truth, which is that everyone is involved in this. This is everyone's plight, but no one has to be involved in this. They don't want to because we're not going to force anybody, but it is one of those things where all Teyvat is in danger. And we're all going to be in trouble. And they set up this thing so well. The danger of this, they set it up so well in such an interesting way. In terms of like we kind of like talked about like a lot of my feelings there as well. In terms of like what I think about this part of this section, because we talked about what I thought about the last section as well. This is one of the most incredible things they've done with Genshin. And that says a lot because Genshin does dwell into dark topics and really horrific topics. But I feel like it's one of those situations where sometimes you hear about the horrors and then you will see some horrors too. Let's be honest, we have seen some horrific stuff as well before. But I think sometimes with Genshin, like what happens is that, as I said, every once in a while, Genshin grabs the back of your head, turns your head around and says, look at this, stare at this. And it's so important because Genshin is a game that people don't realize from the outside and some people don't even realize on the inside. And that's what always confuses me. And I think you guys understand this. Genshin is a game that's built on violence. The history of Teyvat is violence. It is violence and brutality and death and destruction and brutality. Don't be confused by, you know, the lovely, Barbara dancing in front of us. Yeah, we have like lovely, you know, cute, some gorgeous, some beautiful, some amazing characters, some sweet quests, very funny moments, very lovely moments. But Teyvat is built on the pain and suffering of thousands upon thousands of bodies. That's what this place is built upon. And that's what's always been built upon. The history of this place is darkness. It is suffering. And it's always, and that suffering that happened before continues to bleed into the lives of people today in Teyvat. And I think that's what's so incredible about Genshin is that they're able to showcase this stuff, I think, in a very respectful, and I say respectful because, like, they never go too far with, like, being, like, they're not going to show something, like, so horrific, but they do showcase the ideas of the aftermath sometimes as well. That is still horrific, you know, the bodies on the ground and stuff too. They focus on stuff as well. They're not too ashamed to shy away from, like, again, the story of this too. Nefer's story is heartbreaking. It's so interesting, and you can see where she's coming from, and, like, even in these moments, like, you know, it's hard not to like, you know, even like again, because as I said, the people that died that day, that killed all those people, including those kids, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel a pain for them. I don't feel a tinge of bad for them whatsoever. I don't feel bad for them. And I still love Nefer. Nefer's an amazing character. But yeah, really incredible story writing, really bitter and horrific and harrowing story writing, but also too, they're really good at the moments as well that like are important too, which is like the big epic moments, whether it be Columbina saving us again, the terrifying moments of like the Rerir grabbing onto Nefer in that moment too, the exploration that we have, the curiosity that comes along with the writing in this game as well is so incredible too, like as we're exploring Nefer's past and going to these different places, what's going to happen next, or what happened to this person. There's also those feelings as well of like sadness that flow over you, as we saw there with like how Nefer started blaming her father for all this stuff. It waves over you like this feeling of sadness, and it's hard to escape it, and it's so well done here as well. The emotions they make you feel, the moments where everyone's uniting together to fight under this one banner. Again, those exhilarating moments, and I think that's so important with the writing in Genshin as well. Why the writing is so good to me, and it's always been so good to me. They will basically do this thing all the time where they will show you one of the most horrific things you've seen, or one of the most sad things you've seen. You'll be crying for days, and then they basically like give you a high five. You know, they make you feel good for a second. And that's what that felt. It's like everyone's united under one banner. Everyone feels amazing under one banner. That moment at the end, which is such good writing, because while like it's like, you know, it's a thing in a movie that is a trope, which is like the idea of like, I'm with you and I'm with you. It's one of those things where like, even though it's like, you know, and when I say something a trope, I don't mean in a bad way. It's like, it's needed. It's 100% needed. This feeling of unity. And if something makes me feel the way it did when I felt there, I felt like I was getting chills and exhilarated. I was feeling so happy. Then it's needed. It was perfect for that story too, and I thought they did an amazing job with it also. The respect they have for the characters, the writing this was so great. And again, as I said, the reason why I think for me the writing is so good in this act is because of the emotions that it's bringing me. If a story can make me feel a certain way, then I feel like it did its job. You know what I mean? I always say that like whenever I try to write something or a comic or something like that, I always think like in my head I'm like, man, I'd love to make someone cry one day. I know it sounds horrible, but I'd love to make someone laugh. I'd love to make someone cry. I'd love to make someone feel a bit scared or nervous. That's the feeling that you want in these type of stories. The fact that I'm sitting here kind of going like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? Oh, I'm so curious. I want to see what's happening next. Oh, I'm so happy for these guys all uniting together. Oh, I'm so sad for Dane. I feel so bad for this character here. It all is jumbled into one piece of one thing. Oh, this character's hilarious. Oh, that was funny. Oh my God, they're so sweet. Oh, this is a beautiful moment. All these moments bundled together, and they're all done so well. I can't praise it enough. I really can't. Really beautiful stuff. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. The next part of this episode will be on Sunday, or it could be a case where I'm going to come back and it's like only a half an hour left, but I'm guessing there's still about at least a bit left. And what we can do with that as well is we can I'll just add it to this episode if it is that there as well. So I'm going to say thank you so much to my patrons, and thanks so much to my members. Thank you to all the people who became new members and patrons in the last while as well. You're amazing. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you so much to my YouTube members of the highest tier of YouTube, that being Tyfire2, Jamie Bull, Janet the Banana, The Ghost Unizuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Radish, Anusta, Lynx Markey, Yasassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Kasperian, Jared Bianum, and at the highest tier of my YouTube, Royal Gamer 7, Blasco, and Lucinagi. And guys, I'll see you all so soon. I think we need to do the thing right a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be synced. It will be synced up. Let's do this, okay? Let's do the thing. Barbara, you want to do the thing? We haven't done the thing in a while if you don't mind doing the thing. Okay, let's go. Perfect.